Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. After the universe was wiped, I became the primordial gods of destruction. Chapter 61. Luo Tian didn't answer, but looked at Kevin with a smile. Kevin's face became more ugly, and he felt endless panic. Kwesi is dead. Let this guy's apprentice be easily ruined. Why are you following along with Supreme Kai to join in the fun? Luo Tian asked coldly. Kevin shivered with fright. Destroy. Luo Tian didn't want to talk nonsense with him at all, and waved his hand directly forward. A destructive energy quickly acted on Kevin's body. Hey, Luo Tian, don't kill them all, Sawyer exclaimed. Snapped. However, it was too late when Suo Yaxi came. The destructive energy acted on Kevin's body, destroying Kevin completely at that time. Sawyer, Luo Tian, it's not that I'm merciful. You will only cause more trouble if you do this. Sawyer sighed helplessly. Besides, the most embarrassing thing right now is the gods of destruction and Kaiwang Shendu of the 4th universe are dead. The 6th universe has no Supreme Kai. Gods of destruction was sealed by you. What's the trouble? Luo Tian asked with a smile. If Lord Zeno finds out, maybe these universes will be erased again. Sawyer can't laugh or cry. Leave that aside. Do you know about Gods of Destruction's appointment ceremony? Luo Tian asked a question he was more concerned about. Do you want these two kittens to be the gods of destruction of the 6th universe or the 7th universe? Sawyer understood. That's right, that's exactly what I mean. Luo Tian nodded. It is said that the appointment of Lord Gods of Destruction is required. Sawyer replied. Big Gods of Destruction, is that the culprit who killed my ancestors? 440. Luo Tian sneered. I didn't expect the Lord Gods of Destruction to do such a thing. Sawyer shook his head lightly. Where is he now? Luo Tian asked. As Quasi said, the great Gods of Destruction has no fixed place. He will travel to various universes, and he doesn't know when he will meet. Sawyer pondered, but there is another way to become Gods of Destruction. Quote. You say. Luo Tian replied. It's very simple. As long as you live on this planet for 100 years, you can automatically become the gods of destruction of this universe, Sawyer explained. What? 100 years? I can't wait that long, Champa exclaimed. What about Zeno? Can Zeno appoint gods of destruction? Luo Tian asked Sawyer. Sawyer, what do you mean? Okay. But Master Zeno doesn't care about these trivial matters. Sawyer couldn't laugh or cry. In other words, as long as you find Master Zeno and ask him to appoint the gods of destruction, isn't that enough? Luo Tian suggested. Sawyer didn't want to talk anymore. Is Master Zeno so easy to talk to? Sawyer covered his forehead, speechless for a while. I really don't know what you think. This. Master Zeno does have supreme power, but as I said, he won't care about these trivial matters. Sawyer couldn't laugh or cry, for Mr. Zeno, if there are any problems in some universes, Mr. Zeno will directly erase the universe with problems. Instead of appointing gods of destruction. Take me to see Zeno. Luo Tian finally made up his mind. What are you talking about? Don't be kidding, Luo Tian. Master Zeno is something you can see whenever you see him. Sawyer was about to cry. It's okay, let's go, it's a matter of time. Luo Tian smiled slightly. Sawyer was speechless. There was a brief silence. Let me take it easy. Sawyer said with a wry smile, even if we want to meet Master Zeno, we must at least have a simple plan. We can't just go as we say. Then take it easy. Luo Tian nodded and looked at Champa again. How is it? Do you like this planet? Hey, I like it very much. Champa replied excitedly. Master, after meeting Master Zeno, I will become the gods of destruction of this universe. It should be about the same. Luo Tian smiled. Sawyer was silent on the sidelines. What does it mean that after meeting Master Zeno, you will become gods of destruction of this universe? Do you really think Master Zeno is so easy to talk to? Should I take Luo Tian to meet Master Zeno? Also, how do I feel Master Zeno should know what happened here? If you don't go, it will be very troublesome if Master Zeno blames him. After weighing the pros and cons for a while, Sawyer finally made up his mind and planned to take Luo Tian to see Zeno. Okay, then let's go, Sawyer said in a deep voice, and urged again and again, Luo Tian, when you meet Mr. Zeno, don't talk nonsense and be respectful. And you too. Be clear, if Master Zeno is unhappy, he can easily erase you all. Master, isn't he trying to scare people? Champa smiled wryly. No, Zeno is really strong, even I can't be his opponent. Lu Tian sighed. What, so powerful? Beerus also looked moved. Of course, Lord Zeno is the most powerful god in the entire universe. Of course he is very strong. Sawyer said quickly, don't talk nonsense. Don't worry. Luo Tian nodded. Shall we start now? Sawyer asked nervously. Before going to Zeno's place, wait for the map first. Luo Tian smiled slightly. I just happen to be a little hungry, there should be something on this planet, right? Sawyer. Yes. Sawyer nodded, I'll get some food. After finishing speaking, Sawyer went to work. Champa and Beerus followed Sawyer to find food. The Gods of Destruction star is about the same size as the Earth, and various strange animals grow on it. So if you want to eat meat, you can still do it. Before long, Champa and Beerus came back from shooting a wild boar. Luo Tian ordered Sawyer to get the seasoning for the barbecue. Sawyer readily agreed, and disappeared through instant transmission. Soon, Ya came over with all kinds of seasonings. Luo Tian treated the wild boar briefly, set up a bonfire, and started grilling. Champa and Beerus showed endless anticipation. The food Master made was so delicious. The roast whole lamb I ate last time was delicious. I don't know how this wild boar tastes like roasting. No boundaries. Tu Dandan finally entered the realm of nothingness from the 7th universe, and advanced rapidly in the realm of nothingness. Marched for a while. Snapped. Tu Shandon rushed out of the realm of nowhere and entered the 6th universe. Call out. The picture alone leaves a purple arc in the starry sky of the 6th universe. Immediately afterwards, Tu Dan Shan glanced back in fear. Fortunately, the human race named Luo Tian did not catch up. He should have lost it, right? How could he possibly catch up with me? Tu Danan breathed a sigh of relief and accelerated his pace. After some time passed, Tu Shan Dan finally appeared above the sky of the Gods of Destruction star. The picture alone smelled the aroma of barbecue uploaded from the planet below. Boss and youngest, you guys are going too far. I am fleeing here. You are so lucky to eat barbecue on the planet. Is this suitable for you? However, the level of the boss's barbecue seems to have increased. This meat smells delicious. Tu Shan sniffed his nose vigorously, and flew towards the direction that smelled like meat. Call out. The picture alone fell directly on the sides of Luo Tian, Champa, Beerus and others. Then, Tu Dandan was immediately dumbfounded. Tu Shandon's face became more ugly and ugly. What's going on? Why are Luo Tian and those two cats here? Where's the boss and the third child? Tu Dandan asked tremblingly, sweating all over his body. Inside, Luo Tian said, calmly took out the small bottle, opened the top cover, and gave the picture a single glance. Big brother, third brother. What are you two doing here? Tu Shandon was a little confused. Kuru, Riligo, do you think we want to run in? We've all been drained of all the destructive energy by this guy. Are you coming in too? Luo Tian smiled and said, I'm still very kind. If you lock the three of you brothers together, you will be taken care of together, right? I'm not going in. Tu Dandan was furious, and suddenly reached out and grabbed the small bottle in Luo Tian's hand. Boom! Tu Shan lightly squeezed the small bottle with his hands, directly crushing the small bottle. Crack, crack. The next moment, Relagio and Karu inside also immediately returned to their original appearance, kneeling on the ground and panting heavily. Ha 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 ha, you idiot, it was you who stretched out the little bottles in front of me, and now I have released them. Tu Dandan laughed loudly. You didn't expect this to happen, did you? Luo Tian nodded, without any nonsense, directly activated the mode of absorbing destructive energy. The figure alone is also obvious, and I feel that the energy in my body is dissipating rapidly. What did you do to me? Tu Dandan's expression changed again and again. What's the matter with my energy? Tu Shandon was terrified. Almost without the slightest hesitation, he immediately soared into the sky. However, just as soon as Tu Shan rushed to the sky, he felt endless weakness. Call out. Immediately afterwards, Tu Dandan lost the ability to fly, and fell from the sky at that time. Boom! Tu Shan hit the ground, leaving a human-shaped crater on the ground, spewing out a big mouthful of blood, feeling that the whole person is not well. You, can you absorb energy from a distance? Tu Shandan showed endless despair on his face. You destroyed my small bottle for sealing, what do you think should I do? Luo Tian sneered. Tu Shandan was dumbfounded at the time, and his face instantly turned pale. Immediately afterwards, Tu Shani glanced at a stone not far away. Your little boy was made of moon-seeded stones, right? Tu Dandan asked hastily. Not bad. Luo Tian nodded. I can recreate a small bottle, is that okay? Tu Duoduo asked. I hope you don't let me down. Luo Tian said, gently waving his hand, injecting a little bit of destructive energy into Tu Dandan's body. After getting this trace of destructive energy, Tu Shannan didn't hesitate at all, immediately grabbed the stone, and polished it for a while. Soon, Tu Shan only polished the stone into a small bottle of just the same size. Okay, Tu Shan trembling, said, I'll go in and have a look. Call out. The next moment, Tu Dandan turned into a streak of light and quickly entered the inside of the small bottle. Immediately afterwards, Tu Shannan poked his head out of the small bottle, and greeted Kuru and Relagio. Boss, third child, the environment here is good, come in quickly. Relago. Kuru. The two mice stared at each other, how helpless they were. Immediately afterwards, the two mice no longer hesitated, and immediately turned into two streamers of light and entered the small bottle. Luo Tian was not in a hurry to close the lid, but looked to Champa and Beerus. Master, what are your orders? Champa asked. Champa, are you Yuanshi? Luo Tian asked. Hey, what do you mean? Champa was taken aback. Does Master mean that we should piss in that little bottle? Beerus immediately came to his senses. Yeah, Luo Tian smiled and nodded. My urine is yellow, I'm getting angry recently, Champa volunteered. Very good, go pee over there. Lu Tian pointed to the play area. Good master, hey. Champa happily took the small bottle and left. Sawyer fell silent. Because the lid has not been put on yet, the three mice in the small bottle can clearly hear what Luo Tian said. The faces of the three mice changed again and again, extremely ugly. You cat, are you going to pee in this little bottle? Don't mess around. Hey, kitten, don't mess around. Kulu said in a deep voice. Hey, I want to avenge the dead catman. Champa snorted and couldn't help but sneer. Immediately afterwards, Champa was not very polite, and poured a full amount of urine into the mouth of the small bottle. Quote. The three rats in Relagio were soon overwhelmed with urine. Snapped. Champa put the cap on the bottle unhurriedly, and shook it vigorously. Relagio waited for the three mice to feel sick for a while, feeling that the whole person was not well. However, what made the three mice of Relagio feel desperate is yet to come, because in the next few years, their torture became more severe. Now song is just now. Start. Master, it's done. Champa came back happily. You take the little bottle yourself, and try every means to torture them, so that they can survive or die. Luo Tian said to Champa. I know master, I have to think about how to torture them. Champa chuckled. After eating the roasted wild boar, Luo Tian planned to leave to meet Zeno. Have you really thought about it? Sawyer's expression also became unusually dignified. What else is there to think about? I need the two of them to be officially certified. Luo Tian said. Okay, now that it's decided, I'll take you to see Master Zeno now. Sawyer nodded and urged again, I still say the same thing, after meeting Master Zeno, you must be respectful, and don't what a disrespectful thing to do. Understood, let's go quickly. Luo Tian urged. Pull me, Sawyer replied. Luo Tian, Champa and Beerus immediately stepped forward to hold Sawyer. By the way, Supreme Kai, have you heard of Salama? Luo Tian asked before leaving. No, I haven't heard of it, who is he? Sawyer shook his head, showing a confused face. Forget it, let's talk about it later. Luo Tian was silent. Didn't Salama appear in this era? Otherwise, it is impossible for Supreme Kai and Kuisi not to know him. Ask Zeno when you see him. Maybe Zeno knows about Salama. Let's go, Sawyer greeted, Kai K. Immediately afterwards, Sawyer's body burst into light, and immediately cast instant transmission. In just an instant, Suoya brought Luo Tian, Champa and Beerus to appear at the gate of Xeno Temple. The gates of Xeno's temple are closed. Luo Tian looked in the direction of the gate, and felt that it was not much different from the Xeno Temple in Dragon Ball Super that he saw in the anime. This is Lord Xeno's temple. Sawyer explained, you guys wait here for a while, I will go to ask Lord Xeno for instructions first. Saying that, Sawyer knocked on the door lightly. The next moment, Sawyer immediately knelt down in front of the door. Luo Tian did not kneel. Originally, Champa wanted to kneel down immediately, but seeing that Master did not kneel down, he simply stood up straight. Beerus didn't kneel either. You guys. You kneel first. Sawyer felt that he was not well. I will not kneel down to others except my parents and ancestors. Luo Tian smiled slightly. Sawyer, I dare say what I said before was in vain. Crunch. At this moment, the gate of the temple was suddenly opened. The next moment, one of Xeno's guards appeared at the door, looking sharply at Luo Tian and the two kittens opposite. Master Guard, this is Luo Tian and his apprentice, we are here to pay respects to Lord Xeno. Sawyer replied quickly. What a coincidence, Master Xeno has gone out. The guard said calmly. Hey, Master Xeno has gone out. Does the guard know when Master Xeno will come back? Sawyer was taken aback and asked quickly. I don't know. It will take 10 days and a half months to come back. The guard guessed, of course it may take longer. Does it take that long? Sawyer asked with a wry smile. What's the matter with you? The guard asked. Luo Tian, can't we wait until Master Xeno returns? Sawyer suggested. It seems like this is the only way to go. Luo Tian nodded lightly. Then I'm going to trouble you, Lord Guard, we'll come and visit you after Master Xeno comes back. Sawyer replied respectfully. Yes, the guard nodded. Let's go. Sawyer stood up from the ground and walked to Luo Tian's side. Just when Sawyer was about to take Luo Tian to cast instant transmission and leave. Sawyer, are you here? Suddenly, Xiaochuan ran out from the temple. After seeing Sawyer, his eyes lit up and he couldn't help shouting excitedly. Luo Tian was stunned. Didn't Xeno go out? Isn't this at home? What do you mean by guard? Master Xiaochuan, you are at home. Sawyer laughed and hurried forward to say hello. After Luo Tian heard Sawyer addressing Xeno, he was stunned again. You actually called him Xiaochuan. Are you not afraid that he will erase you? Well, Dad is out, I'm at home, come in and play with me. Xiaochuan immediately invited. That, Soyo hesitated. Are the three of them your friends? Xiao Quan quickly noticed Luo Tian and the two kittens. Yes, Master Xiaochuan. Sawyer nodded immediately. You guys come over to play together too. Xiaochuan waved to Luo Tian and the three of them. Luo Tian walked forward unhurriedly. Champa and Beerus followed behind Luo Tian, looking at Xiao Quan curiously. Let me introduce you, Sawyer hurriedly said. This is Master Xeno's son, Master Xiaochuan. Quote. Luo Tian's expression was slightly surprised. How far ago have I traveled? Isn't the real Xeno him? It's his dad, Master Xiaochuan, he is Luo Tian, and the two cats behind him are Luo Tian's apprentices. Sawyer introduced. Yeah, let's play games together, it just happens that there are more people and it will be more fun. Xiao Quan said excitedly. Okay. Sawyer immediately winked at Luo Tian, beckoning him to agree quickly. After all, this is Master Xeno's son, so don't neglect him. Originally, Sawyer didn't want to come to see Master Xeno's son. After all, Master Xeno's son is not doing anything right now. Under Xiao Quan's leadership, Luo Tian and others entered the temple. The guards were guarding Xiao Quan's side, as if they had a slight fear of Luo Tian. Luo Tian, let me tell you the truth, the 6 disappeared universes were erased by Master Xiaochuan. Of course, Master Xeno instructed Master Xiaochuan to erase the 13th to 18th universe. Sawyer lowered his voice, and whispered to Luo Tian, you must not be rude to Lord Xiaochuan. Don't think that Lord Xiaochuan is still young, but his wipe the removal ability is also very strong. After Luo Tian heard the news, he suddenly realized. Luo Tian soon understood why Kalu was able to survive the erasure of the universe. Why is the old man Yuan Zun able to resist erasure through his own body? Because Xiaochuan's erasing ability is still a little weak. It's no wonder why the disappearance of the universe was not completed in an instant at that time, but spread gradually. Because these are made by Xiaochuan who has not yet grown up. What? Those universes were wiped out by such a small one? Champa shuddered. It's unimaginable. He's not as tall as us. Beerus was also shocked. In the future he will replace his father and become the real Zeno. Luo Tian sighed slightly. Champa and Beerus fell silent. How about we play something? Xiaochuan muttered. How about playing hide and seek? Okay, I have no objection. Sawyer nodded, agreeing. What about you? Xiaochuan asked Luo Tian again. I won't play, let my apprentice play with you. Luo Tian smiled slightly. The faces of the two guards immediately revealed angry looks, and they stared fiercely at Luotian. Master Xiaochuan is playing hide and seek, and you actually say you don't want to play. You are disrespecting Mr. Xiaochuan. Xiaochuan was also looking at Luo Tian up and down, and felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. Master Xiaochuan, the three of us are enough to play hide and seek with you, it would be boring if there were more, wouldn't it? Sawyer hurriedly stepped forward to make peace guy. He kept winking at Luo Tian. How dare you guys say that? Didn't I tell you to make your attitude better? In the end, Master Xiaochuan asked you to play hide and seek, but you didn't play. I don't even know what to say to you. Okay, after all, Xiaochuan didn't make things difficult for Luo Tian, and nodded slightly. Let's play for a while, let's talk about it if it's not fun. I'll catch you first, Xiaochuan said, walked up to a pillar, covered his eyes with his hands and started counting. Champa and Beerus also immediately found a place to hide. Sawyer also found another direction to hide. 8.9.10. Xiaochuan counted to 10, turned around quickly, and looked around for the three of them. Where is it? Xiaochuan looked around. Boom. However, at the next moment, only a dull loud noise was heard suddenly coming from a distance. Boom. The entire temple trembled violently. Luo Tian was stunned for a moment. What happened? Immediately afterwards, Luo Tian saw cracks appearing on the ground of the temple, and the cracks spread rapidly to the surroundings. Luo Tian flew up unhurriedly, hovering in the air. Xiao Quan accidentally fell to the ground, screaming in pain. Two guards stepped forward quickly and appeared beside Xiaochuan, looking around vigilantly. Sawyer was also completely stunned. He didn't know what happened, and walked out from a distance staggeringly. Isn't it just playing hide and seek? Master Xiaochuan, what are you doing here? Are you planning to destroy the temple? But then, Sawyer realized that something was wrong. It seems that Master Xiaochuan did not do it. Champa and Beerus also rushed out of their hiding place quickly. This hide and seek is so exciting. As soon as we hid, the ground of the temple split open. Luo Tian quickly looked towards the entrance of the temple. The next moment, Luo Tian saw a monster with the head of a tiger walking upright, striding in from the gate of the temple. Tiger, you're crazy. The two guards yelled at the tiger man, who told you to destroy the temple. I declare that from today onwards, I will be the greatest god in the entire universe. Tiger laughed, and his laughter was extraordinarily rampant. What's the situation? Luo Tian was stunned at the side, and immediately asked Suoya beside him, is this guy going to rebel? He is Lord Gods of Destruction. Sawyer's face changed again and again, I don't know what he wants to do. It seems that he may want to rebel. Oh, interesting. Luo Tian smiled brighter and brighter. You, Tiger, you can't rebel if you want to. One of the guards shouted angrily. You guessed it, that's what I meant. Tiger smiled contemptuously, and finally turned his head and shouted in the direction of the gate, bring it up to me. After the words fell, two people came in from the outside holding a black ball. One of these two people looks somewhat similar to Mo Luo, and they look like goats. The other one looks like Ox King. Not the Ox King in the Dragon Ball world, it feels like the Ox King in Journey to the West. Tauren and Goat Man belt. Then Black's ball comes in and puts the Black's ball on the ground. It is worth mentioning that both the Tauren and the Goatman are wearing Gods of Destruction costumes, which should be the Gods of Destruction of a certain universe. Luo Tian frowned. What is this ball? Xiaochuan and the two guards also showed confusion. HMPH, don't you know what this is? Tiger said with a smile, then I'll show you, so that you can give up. As he spoke, Tiger waved lightly at Black's ball with his big hand. Suddenly, a certain position of Black's ball suddenly became transparent. The next moment, Luo Tian and the others present saw clearly what was inside the ball. Among Black's balls, there is a god who looks very similar to Xiaochuan, but his height and body proportions are a bit longer and larger than Xiaochuan's. At this moment, this person has closed his eyes tightly, apparently falling into a deep sleep. Father, what did you do to my father? Xiaochuan immediately shouted. Presumptuous, do you know what you are doing? The guard also showed an angry expression. Let Master Zeno go. Another guard also shouted sharply. Let him go. I finally sealed him up. If I let him go, wouldn't all my previous efforts be wasted? Tiger smiled softly. How? I created this. Isn't the seal not bad? This seal can put Master Zeno into a deep sleep for a long time, or make him never wake up. Quote. You dare. The two guards were furious. I came here just to tell you that from now on, I, the great gods of destruction, will become the ruler of the entire universe and the temple should be replaced with fresh blood. Tiger snorted coldly. I want to erase you. Xiaochuan was also extremely angry, and waved his little hand at Tiger. Snapped. Seeing the erasing power coming at a high speed, Tiger slapped it with his palm suddenly, and directly slapped the invisible erasing power without a trace. On the scene, only Luo Tian could see the erasing power scurrying around. Luo Tian didn't have any kindness, and directly absorbed this erasing power. Erasure me, just because you, a brat, want to erase me. Tiger sneered, if your old man is still awake, I might still be afraid of him, but just because of you. Question mark. I advise you to give up your heart. Shua. In just a split second, Tiger and Xiaochuan drew closer, and the tiger grabbed 10 claws forward fiercely. The two guards were faster and quickly shot, blocking Tiger's attack. Today, let me have a good meeting with you two. Tiger laughed loudly, and launched a fierce attack on the two guards. For a while, the two sides fought fiercely, and the entire temple was shaken to the point of collapse. Hey, tell me, how long will it take for Lord Gods of Destruction to defeat those two guards? The goat man smiled and asked the Tauren. I've heard that Lord Zeno's two bodyguards are powerful, and it's amazing to see them today. The Tauren nodded thoughtfully. I feel that Lord Gods of Destruction can win in less than 10 minutes. We're not here to watch the show, so let's clean up these little fools first. The goat man smiled. Isn't that guy Supreme Kai Sawyer? I heard that he was the one who made a small report, which led to the 13th universe going to the 13th universe. The 18th universe was wiped out. Our clansmen who remained in the 13th universe and the 17th universe also disappeared completely. Especially Lord Gods of Destruction's clansmen, most of them are concentrated in the 16th universe. The Tauren sighed, that guy Zeno is really ruthless, he wiped out the 16th universe in one fell swoop. No wonder the Lord Gods of Destruction wants to rebel. Stop talking nonsense, anyway, let's follow the Lord Gods of Destruction. The goat man smiled. After all, following the Lord Gods of Destruction will definitely help our group even more in the future. Okay, I'll go and clean up these 3 unlucky guests who came here first. The Tauren said, walking towards the direction where the 3 of Luo Tian were. What's the matter? Luo Tian looked at the Tauren with a smile. You 3 are the guests who come here to play hide and seek with Xiaochuan, right? The Tauren smiled contemptuously. What a coincidence, you came at the wrong time, prepare to die. Saying that, the Tauren aimed his hands at Luo Tian's body through the air. Destroy. The Tauren didn't show any courtesy either, and greeted Luo Tian with a burst of destructive energy. Snapped. Luo Tian didn't even have bullets, so he activated the ability to absorb at that time, completely absorbing the destructive energy flying over. What happened? The Tauren was stunned. Luo Tian smiled lightly, activated the ability to absorb again, and acted on the Tauren. The Tauren was surprised to feel that the energy in his body was rapidly dissipating. How did this happen? What happened? The Tauren exclaimed, Old sheep, come and help me. What? The goat man also realized that something was wrong, and hurried forward. However, the next moment, the goat man was also dumbfounded. The goat man tragically discovered that the energy in his body was disappearing rapidly. What's the situation? The goat man was stunned. Are you like this too? The Tauren suddenly came to his senses. Your energy is also disappearing. The goat man's eyes widened. How could this happen? The Tauren was shocked, and immediately raised his head to look at Luo Tian. Could it be? Could it be you? Luo Tian ignored the Tauren and goat man, and directly absorbed the energy in the body of the Tauren and goat man. Slap! The Tauren and the goat man went limp and fell straight to the ground, dying on the spot. Shua! Luo Tian waved his hand lightly again, and wiped these two guys away. After doing all this, Luo Tian just watched the show by the side like a normal person. Sawyer was stunned. Is it that easy for this guy to kill gods of destruction now? From the beginning to the end, he didn't even move. Oh, I moved at the last moment and waved to the two gods of destruction. And then those two gods of destruction are gone. Was that an erasure just now? Can Master Zeno erase that? Why would you? Sawyer felt extremely shocked. Master, have you reached the 5th level? Champa asked with some expectation. It's already here. I have absorbed the destructive energy of the two of them, and now I have successfully entered the 5th level. Luo Tian nodded. Gods of destruction level 5. The strength is the working angel. However, what made Luo Tian a little puzzled was, after coming to Zeno Temple, he didn't see that guy Grand Priest. Moreover, on the gods of destruction planets of the 7th universe and the 6th universe, there is no maintenance and Vados appears. But after thinking about it, Luo Tian felt that it was quite normal. After all, Zeno's erasure technique is still relatively weak in this period, and the god who is currently in charge of the entire universe is Zeno's father. In other words, because the priest hasn't appeared yet. Has this world not discovered the existence of the angel family? Maybe it is, but it doesn't matter anymore. Luo Tian immediately looked at Tiger and the two Zeno guards who were fighting. After feeling Tiger's powerful strength, Lu Tian was indeed a little shocked. What Quasi said was indeed correct. Even if Tiger's strength was the sum of all the gods of destruction, it would be difficult to be his opponent. Now, under Tiger's attack, Zeno's two guards were even a little flustered, and were even hit by Tiger's claws several times. Luo Tian feels that the strength of the great gods of destruction Tiger has at least reached the level of the Grand Priest. It's just that Luo Tian hasn't seen Grand Priest yet, so he doesn't know how strong Grand Priest is. Ordinarily, Grand Priest should be stronger than those two guards, right? What? Is Zeno's two guards so weak? I'm so disappointed. Tiger laughed wildly, and suddenly hit one of the guard's chest with a sharp uppercut. Puff! The guard spurted blood from his mouth at that time. Another guard quickly followed up and took the opportunity to slap Tiger on the body. Tiger's body trembled slightly, and then he acted like a normal person with an endless smile on his face. What? Is this your attack? Tiger sneered. It has no strength at all. Boom! As he said that, Tiger slapped him fiercely with his backhand. At that time, he turned the guard around in the air several times. Boom! Tiger flew up, kicked the guard down from the air, and embedded it deeply into the ground of the temple. Snapped! Tiger stretched out the tiger's paw and pressed it on the guard's chest. I'll ask you if you accept it or not. Tiger sneered. Asshole! Another guard rushed over quickly. Snapped! Tiger raised his hand lightly, directly resisting the attacking fist of the guard. Boom! Tiger kicked over and kicked the guard to the ground at that time. Call out! After the guard fell to the ground, he immediately got up from the ground without any hesitation, and quickly appeared beside Xiaochuan. Master Xiaochuan, I will take you out of here first, the guard said in a deep voice. Saying that, the guards planned to take Xiaochuan away immediately. Because the guard clearly felt that his brothers were no match for that guy at all. Want to run? Do you think you can run? Tiger smiled contemptuously, turned around and was about to chase. Snapped! The other guard immediately hugged Tiger's body from behind. Run! The guard yelled. HMPH! Tiger sneered again and again, and slammed his elbow hard, hitting the guard's waist hard. Ah! The guard was screaming in pain and spurting blood from his mouth. Hurry up! Get out of here quickly! The guard was still screaming loudly. You still don't let go, do you? Then I'll kill you! Tiger slammed his elbow back again. Puff! Blood spurted from the guard's mouth again. Old cow, old sheep, you two stop them. That guard's energy is running out, and you too can be his opponents. Tiger greeted calmly. However, after Tiger finished speaking, he suddenly realized that something was wrong. Because the Tauren and goat people mysteriously disappeared. Just now Tiger was only focused on fighting the two guards, and really didn't have time to watch the goatmen and Tauren. What did you two do? Did you run away at the critical moment? Tiger frowned, looked around, and immediately found Zeno's seal appearing beside a young man. Aren't you leaving quickly? The guard shouted loudly. You don't have to leave, or break the seal immediately and let Master Zeno out. Tiger's face changed color. If that Zeno guy is released, I'm afraid it will be troublesome. Originally, I managed to seal him when he wasn't paying attention. If it is a real contest, I may not be his opponent. Young man, quickly throw that seal to me, and I'll seal you as gods of destruction. Tiger immediately greeted Luo Tian. Ah, I don't want to be gods of destruction. Luo Tian shook his head. Quote, whatever you want, I'll give you right away. Tiger said. He swung his right hand forward violently, and a burst of energy quickly covered the guards and Xiaochuan. The guards hugged Xiaochuan tightly, protecting his body. Hurry up and throw that seal over here. Tiger said to Luo Tian again. I want to be the great gods of destruction, is that okay? Luo Tian smiled slightly. Tiger was taken aback, his brows furrowed even tighter. This kid actually wants to take my place. Okay, yes, no problem, I promise you. Tai Lu quickly agreed. Control the seal first, lest Zeno escape. As for the fact that this kid wants to be the great gods of destruction, I'll think about it later. Besides, do you think that if you want to be the great gods of destruction, you can become the great gods of destruction? Unless your strength is above all gods of destruction. At the critical moment, where did the old cow and the old sheep go? After I get the situation under control, I won't be able to spare the two of them. Hurry up and throw the seal to me. Tiger ordered, or you can keep an eye on the seal, don't let that guard get close. As he said that, Tiger increased the force of his attack again, and launched a violent attack towards the guard who was holding him behind him. The guard kept vomiting blood, his face turned pale for a while. Boom! Finally, Tiger made a gorgeous back fall, and the guard fell from behind at that time. Puff! The guard spat out a mouthful of old blood again, feeling endless weakness. Let's go. Get out of here quickly. The guard shouted to his companion and Xiaochuan. The other guard gritted his teeth, no longer hesitated, and immediately flew out of the temple with Xiaoquan, and fled. Tiger sneered, but he was not in a hurry to chase after him, but came to Luo Tian's side leisurely. Tiger planned to control the seal first, in case someone really put. If the Zeno in the seal is released, all previous efforts will be in vain. Although Tiger can be sure that this seal is relatively strong, it is difficult for ordinary people to break. But what if it does break? Just be careful. Yes, you have successfully prevented them from releasing Zeno. Tiger was very satisfied with Luo Tian's performance. Ah, I didn't stop it, they didn't come over to snatch the seal. Lu Tian said honestly. You are an honest boy. Tiger smiled slightly, but I don't like people who are too honest, so, go to death. While chatting and laughing, Tiger's big hand suddenly patted Luo Tian's body. Snapped. Luo Tian raised his hand lightly, and directly caught Tiger's attacking fist with his own palm. You, what? Tiger was taken aback, and looked at Luo Tian Zhanuohao opposite him with some surprise. The strength is not bad, no wonder it is the big gods of destruction. Luo Tian smiled lightly, and slapped Tiger fiercely on the face with his backhand. There were 5 bright red handprints on Tiger's face at that time, and he was a little confused. What's the situation? Who is this kid? Why are you so violent? Boom! Luo Tian kicked over again, directly kicking Tiger's abdomen. Tiger's feet rubbed against the ground, and his body slipped back and forth. The next moment, Tiger immediately slammed his right foot on the ground, stopped abruptly, and then looked at Luo Tian with embarrassment. The guards who fell on the ground were dumbfounded. Is this guy so strong? I underestimated him before. The guard suddenly felt his own insignificance and helplessness. Has this kid been pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger? Are you a descendant of Yuan Zun's line? Tiger observed Luo Tian carefully, and the image of Yuan Zun also appeared in his mind. That's right. Luo Tian nodded, so you were among the gods who killed Yuanzun back then. It's not simple, you boy is not simple. Tiger commented, did the old sheep and the old cow be beaten to death or run away? They have been wiped out by me, you don't have to care about them anymore, you should take good care of yourself. Luo Tian smiled. Ha, ha ha. Tiger laughed loudly, do you know who you are talking to? I am the great gods of destruction, the leader of all gods of destruction. Your strength has indeed reached the breaking point. The realm of the bad god has to be said to be remarkable. Quote, it seems that there are not many gods of destruction left around you. Champa pointed at Tiger and laughed loudly. Tiger was taken aback for a moment, and his smile gradually froze. That little fat cat, what do you mean by that? Tiger frowned. HMPH, 6 gods of destruction universes have been eliminated by my master, and you will be next. Champa chuckled. You, what did you say? Tiger's face changed slightly. The guard also widened his eyes, showing shock on his face. Great gods of destruction, it's really time for you to come. I wanted to find you. Luo Tian smiled and said, since you're here, let's have a good chat. Young man, you don't know the heights of the sky and the depths of the earth. Tiger sneered again and again, and a streamer of purple red suddenly burst out from his body. Immediately afterwards, Tiger immediately activated the Gods of Destruction mode. HMPH, 3 seconds, I can finish you in just 3 seconds. Tiger showed 3 fingers. Then do your best. Luo Tian smiled slightly. Call out. Tiger came roaring towards Luo Tian, but in an instant he got closer to Luo Tian. Boom. Tiger punched Luo Tian heavily in the abdomen. Luo Tian's body flew backwards rapidly. Shua. Tiger followed up quickly and appeared behind Luo Tian in an instant. Boom. Tiger kicked hard again, right at the back of Luo Tian's back. Quote. Luo Tian's body trembled violently, and he threw himself forward. Shua. Tiger rushed forward again, kicking Luo Tian's body, kicking Lu Tian to a higher level. Hey. The next moment, Tiger appeared directly above where Luo Tian was, with an upside-down golden hook, and kicked Luo Tian from the air at that time. Boom! Luo Tian smashed heavily on the ground of the temple, and left a big hole on the ground. Snapped! Tiger slowly fell from the sky without any haste, and appeared on the edge of the big pit. Dead. No one can withstand my series of attacks, even gods of destruction will die immediately. Tiger snorted, looked at the guard lying on the ground. It's just you, the level of this guard is not bad, but you have no way to fight. The guards were anxious and had no choice, but fortunately, the brothers and Xiaochuan had already run away. They will have a way to deal with Tiger in the future. We can only wait for Master Xiaochuan to grow up slowly. It's really sad, and this person is sad enough. Pretended for 2 or 3 seconds, but was beaten to death abruptly by the big gods of destruction Tiger. I thought you were so great, but it turned out to be so. Tiger smiled contemptuously. You killed you before you figured out the situation, and it feels like you died a little too quickly. But having said that, I haven't found an opponent as strong as you for so many years. If you are willing to be my subordinate, you will be a very good brother. Champa and Beerus also changed their expressions again and again. Was the master beaten to death by him? Next is your 2 kittens. Tiger chuckled. How about it? I can give you a chance to be my pet cat, and maybe I can reward you with some food. Go dream, Champa shouted. TCH, I never thought of being someone's pet cat, I want to be the most powerful gods of destruction in the universe. Beerus snorted. The ambition is not small, but it's a pity that you are still too young. Tiger sneered. Forget it, let's get rid of you, and let you go to 10 non-existent worlds to accompany your master. Tiger has already stretched out his hand from the air, aiming at Champa and Beerus on the opposite side, about to destroy them both. Champa and Beerus were also immediately ready for battle, their expressions becoming extremely serious and vigilant. Snapped. Agfi. Suddenly, Luo Tian jumped up from the ground like a carp. What? Tiger's eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. I've let you down. Luo Tian grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Master. It's great that you are fine. Champa was very excited. I just said Master will be fine. Beerus also heaved a sigh of relief and smiled. It's impossible. Tiger's face changed slightly. How did you do it? Okay, the preferential treatment time has passed, I don't even bother to fight with you, just suck you dry. Luo Tian smiled slightly, and while speaking, he also directly turned on the energy absorption map mode. Luo Tian simply compared his current strength with Tiger's. It stands to reason that there should be little difference. If you really type, there is no such thing as 100,000 characters that you can't finish typing. Luo Tian simply stopped beating, and directly sucked you dry, saving so much trouble. Energy absorption mode is turned on. Suddenly, Tiger's destructive energy was rapidly dissipating. Tiger's face changed again and again. What did you do to me? Tiger lost his voice. It's nothing, you don't have to think about anything now, just calm down. Luo Tian said calmly. Are you absorbing my destructive energy? Tiger immediately came to his senses. It was finally discovered by you. Luo Tian smiled. Tiger's face changed again and again, almost without the slightest hesitation. He was about to soar into the sky and escape from this place immediately. Let's talk about it later when we find a way to absorb him. If this trend continues, I feel that my destructive energy will bottom out after a while. Call out. Tiger was soaring into the sky at that time, trying to escape from this area. It's useless, with my current absorption range, it has already reached Feng Yuan's distance of 1 light year. Luo Tian smiled. What did you say? Tiger pricked up his ears, showing disbelief on his face. The next moment, Tiger immediately fell from the sky. What's the matter? You know you can't escape no matter what, right? Luo Tian smiled and said, you said that you are the same person. Originally, I didn't want to mix up the grievances between you and Zeno, but you insisted on targeting me. You or yourself, are you uncomfortable? I admit it's my fault. Let's talk about something, shall we? Tiger said hastily. Let me think about it. Luo Tian pondered. Quote. Do you still think about it? You continue to absorb energy as you think. Unlucky for me. By the way, I remembered. I said just now that you were among those gods of destruction who killed Yuan Zun back then, right? Luo Tian sneered. Luo Tian was also deeply moved. It is indeed a great gods of destruction. The power of destruction is really strong. Usually, those gods of destruction are basically sucked dry in less than 10 seconds. But I have sucked this big gods of destruction for more than 10 seconds, and I feel that his destructive power is still entering my body continuously. This stuff is also a weird one. It is indeed a great gods of destruction. Tiger's face became more and more gloomy. Tiger grabbed Black's seal, gritted his teeth fiercely, and immediately grabbed the seal hard. Crack. Black's seal cracked a trace on the spot. Boy, you forced me to do this. Since you want to suck me dry, then I will let the whole universe disappear with us. Tiger laughed. As he spoke, Tiger pulled Zeno out of the seal. Zeno was sealed inside before, and now he just came out of the seal. His head was still a little dazed, and he shook his head vigorously. Boom! Without the slightest hesitation, Tiger slapped it with his palm, and at that moment, he slapped a black gas into the back of Zeno's heart. Tiger, you are crazy. Do you want to destroy the entire universe? The guard was shocked and shouted sharply. HMPH, absorb my destructive power. Do you really think my destructive power can be absorbed so easily? I will make you pay the price. Tiger's expression was close to madness. Master Zeno, wake up quickly. The guard showed a hint of despair on his face. Looking at Zeno again, there is suddenly a trace of black gas lingering around his body. Snapped. Zeno opened his eyes, which became dark and hollow. Although Zeno's eyes were small like beans before, at least there is spirit in them. But now there is no trace of look in Zeno's eyes. What's the situation? Luo Tian turned to ask the guard. That's the heart of darkness. The guard said in a deep voice, the most evil thing in the entire universe. Even if Master Zeno is attacked, he will lose his mind for 10 seconds. These 10 seconds are enough. Let Master Zeno erase the entire universe. Although Master Zeno is powerful, there will be a short period of weakness every few years. It is precisely during this period of weakness that Tiger dared to rebel. So that's the case. Luo Tian understood, and immediately said to Champa and Beerus beside him, you two hurry up and hold me, don't separate from me. Champa nodded, and hastily stepped forward to grab Luo Tian's arm. Beerus didn't hesitate at all, and grabbed Luo Tian's other hand. Master Zeno, this young man has rebelled, even I am no match for him. Tiger spoke suddenly, and said to Zeno, who had been temporarily controlled by the Dark Star. Zeno looked at Luo Tian with a gloomy expression, and waved his hand lightly to Luo Tian without any unnecessary nonsense. Immediately, an invisible erasing power instantly covered Luo Tian's body. Great, you are the only one who disappears like this, maybe universe can still save you. Tiger was overjoyed when he saw this situation. Luo Tian didn't have any hesitation, he directly absorbed the erasing power released by Zeno. I make it up. Luo Tian was extremely shocked. As expected of future Zeno's father. Really awesome. Just such an erasing force, the strength of the force is nearly 100 times higher than that of the little Zeno. Just like that, Luo Tian found that in his energy pool, the proportion of erasing power had reached 8%. Cool, so cool. Here, Luo Tian silently enjoys the pleasure of erasing. However, the blackened Zeno is a little confused. Tiger is also a little confused. The guard showed even more confusion. This is the first time I've seen anyone survive Master Zeno's erasure. Even this big gods of destruction Tiger wouldn't dare to resist Master Zeno's erasure head-on. How did you manage to not disappear? Huh, Zeno frowned. Master Zeno, is it because the erasing power you released just now is a little short? Tiger reminded from the side, that guy hasn't disappeared. Then disappear with the whole universe. Zeno spit out these words slowly. And after saying this, Zeno suddenly stretched his arms. The erasing power surged wildly in Zeno's hands. Quote. Tiger wanted to curse at the time. Zeno, do you know what I hate about you? I hate you, a god who doesn't play cards according to common sense. Tiger gritted his teeth in hatred. Although Tiger kept cursing at Zeno, he tragically found that his energy was still draining rapidly. Tiger clearly knew that if he stayed, he might be sucked dry by this kid even if he wasn't erased by Zeno. At this critical juncture, Tiger gritted his teeth, exhausted his last bit of energy, and punched towards the void. Suddenly, the void twisted and deformed. Snapped. A vortex emerged. I can't spare you. The moment Tiger entered the vortex, he turned his head and looked at Luo Tian with resentment. If you can survive Zeno's erasure, I will definitely find you in the future. You settle the score. Please, let's talk after you figure out the situation. Luo Tian sighed helplessly. Why do you think you can escape? Puff. Luo Tian blew a breath towards the vortex that appeared. Shua. In just an instant, that vortex was wiped away by Luo Tian in one gulp. Slap. As soon as Tiger took off, he fell to the ground all of a sudden. While showing a face of horror, endless despair appeared in his eyes. Can you even absorb Zeno's erasure? Tiger's face changed again and again. What? The guard was completely stunned after hearing these words. At this time Zeno is still releasing the power of erasure, trying to erase the entire universe. However, all the erasing power released by Zeno was absorbed by Luo Tian. Luo Tian didn't want the whole universe to disappear just like that. All universes are gone, nothing is left, I will starve to death. Will be bored too. It has been 18 years since I crossed over. For the sake of the human race, I fought bloody. I don't even have a girlfriend yet. You just want the entire universe to disappear. Therefore, Luo Tian didn't have anything to be polite, and kept absorbing the erasing power released by Zeno. Zeno held back a big move, but nothing was erased in the end. Luo Tian was afraid that this guy would continue messing around, and suddenly felt that it would be better to suck him dry. I will absorb all your erasing power and leave you 0.01 to ensure that you will not die. In this way, the whole universe will be fine. Thinking of this, Luo Tian absorbed Zeno's erasing power again. This time Luo Tian absorbed Zeno's erasing power faster. Mainly Zeno himself is still unleashing the power of erasure. Coupled with Luo Tian's absorption, it took less than 10 seconds before and after. Slap. Zeno fell to the ground all of a sudden, feeling endless weakness. Snapped. The next moment, the black thread on Zeno's body also evaporated quickly from his body, and quickly dissipated without a trace. Zeno tilted his head and passed out directly. Master Zeno. The guard struggled to get up from the ground and came to Zeno's side. What did you do? Tiger looked at Luo Tian as if he was looking at a monster. Luo Tian silently felt the energy in his body. This time, Lu Tian really gained a lot. Luo Tian not only absorbed the destructive power of the great gods of destruction Tiger, but also absorbed the erasing power of Zeno. Luo Tian's strength has also risen with the tide. At that time, he jumped directly from the 5th stage to the 7th stage, reaching the highest level. Luo Tian believes that with his current strength, even if he meets the Grand Priest, he will not fall behind at all. 7th Universe, Gods of Destruction Star. The prophecy fish sat in the fishbowl, in the air, looked up at the distant temple. The most powerful god in the entire universe, was finally born. The prophecy fish lamented, "The god world is going to be reshuffled, I hope it doesn't shuffle me. I just a fish that swims from morning till night." Temple of Zeno. Red streamers bloomed all over Luo Tian's body, and purple-red energy stars flickered in his hands. The reason why this phenomenon occurs is because Luo Tian's destructive energy is finally saturated. Luo Tian absorbed the destructive power of gods of destruction and one large gods of destruction, and finally made his own destructive power reach saturation. Now, Luo Tian still has some destructive energy remaining in his hands, which is really unable to absorb. Of course Luo Tian wouldn't waste it in vain. "Come, my apprentice." Luo Tian greeted Champa and Beerus, and gave them these two groups of destructive energy. And after absorbing these two groups of destructive energy, the strength of Champa and Beerus has also been greatly improved. Champa steps into the 2nd level of Gods of Destruction. Beerus stepped into the 3rd level of Gods of Destruction. The destructive energy of the great gods of destruction is really extraordinary. Champa was extremely pleasantly surprised. "I feel that the improvement is not a little bit." "Well, I feel the same way." Beerus nodded. After the big gods of destruction Tiger heard the words of the two cats, he felt endlessly pierced. Has my destructive power allowed these two cats to share some? This shameless descendant of Yuan Zun. Are you okay? Luo Tian walked to the guard's side unhurriedly, and asked with concern. "It's okay. What did you do to Master Zeno?" The guard asked sadly. "This guy is a demon, he sucked Zeno's erasing power dry." Tiger said in a deep voice. What did you say?" The guard was stunned, turned his head and looked at Tiger in a daze, and then immediately looked at Luo Tian, showing an expression of disbelief. "Well, what he said is correct. Zeno's current erasing power is only 0.1% left." Luo Tian pondered. Now it is estimated that it can only erase a stone or something. Guard. Tiger. Supreme Kai Sawyer. Luo Tian. Sawyer flew over quickly, his face turned green, and he stammered, not knowing what to say. "I was the one who brought you to Master Zeno. It turned out that you were fine. You actually absorbed Master Zeno's erasing power. Are you trying to rebel? If so, you are scarier than Tiger. Among these universes, can't stop you. What crime did I do? Supreme Kai, are you all right?" Luo Tian looked back at Sawyer and asked with concern. "It's okay, I just found a place to hide." Sawyer scratched his head and smiled wryly. "To be honest, my strength is too weak. If I stayed at the scene, the aftermath of their battle might be shock me to death." Immediately afterwards, Sawyer lowered his voice and asked again. "Luo Tian, you won't really suck Master Zeno dry?" Sawyer asked in Luo Tian's ear. "No," Luo Tian replied. "Scared me, that's good, that's good." Sawyer breathed a sigh of relief, and smiled. "So you deliberately lied to them, right?" "Cheat? Lie to what?" Luo Tian was taken aback. Sawyer scratched his head inexplicably. "I didn't suck it up. Didn't I leave him 0.1%? Luo Tian replied. "I'm still very interesting." Sawyer didn't want to talk anymore. "Are you a human being? How is this different from blotting? Why don't you just suck Master Zeno dry and keep the 0.1% to humiliate him? Drained, he will die." Luo Tian whispered to Sawyer. The corner of Sawyer's mouth twitched, unable to say anything. "There seems to be some truth in what you say." The guards were also speechless. "As for you, I wanted you to appoint my apprentice as gods of destruction, but it seems useless now." Luo Tian looked at Tiger with a smile. Now the remaining energy in Tiger's body is only 0.01%. Tiger felt endless despair and tragedy. Terrible. What a terrible guy the first have provoked. But I won't kill you myself, let's see how Zeno will deal with you. Luo Tian smiled and looked at the guards immediately. The guard was startled, swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and his whole body trembled violently. This guy is scarier than that tiger. At least Tiger beat me. But as long as Master Zeno wakes up, we can still fight back. But now it's all over. If this person named Luo Tian wants to rebel, who can stop him? There are no gods to fight. Tiger was even more hopeless, let out a long and helpless sigh, and stopped talking. Guard, what type of energy is in your body? I think you are very weak, should I replenish it for you? Luo Tian said. Thank you, don't worry, I'll just recover slowly. The guard quickly thanked him. It doesn't matter, in fact, I want to know what type of energy you have. Luo Tian stepped forward and patted the guard's shoulder, and took the opportunity to absorb a little energy from the guard. Guard, you really are welcome. When this energy entered Luo Tian's body, Luo Tian was slightly taken aback. Isn't this also the power of destruction? It turns out that what the guards practice is also the power of destruction. It's the power of destruction. Luo Tian smiled. Well, as long as you add some power of destruction, your injuries will recover faster. It's a pity that I don't know how to heal now, otherwise there is no need to do so. Troubled 10. Snapped. Luo Tian is still very generous, directly sending a little bit of destructive power to the guards. Of course, this point of destructive power is transported, which is only about 0.1% of Luo Tian's overall destructive power. Although it's only about 0.1%, the effect on the bodyguard has already roughly restored the bodyguard's destructive power. With the blessing of energy in the body, the injuries on the guard's body are gradually repairing on their own. Thank you, Lord Luo Tian. The guard quickly thanked. When will Master Zeno wake up? Luo Tian asked. I guess we have to wait a little longer. The guard smiled wryly. You suck Master Zeno down to 0.1%, how dare you ask him when he will wake up? I just make a suggestion. Luo Tian said, the whole universe should also be replaced with fresh blood. For example, some gods of destruction should be replaced, and some supreme Kai should also be replaced. Change is needed, the god realm has to replan, it can't be such a mess. The guard was completely incapable of making decisions. How about you take Xiaochuan back now and let him become the new Zeno immediately. Luo Tian proposed. Bodyguard, what you just said was just a suggestion. Did you just give the order right now? Do I want 250 to bring Master Xiaochuan back? If I bring him back, what if you embarrass him? Who can beat you now? Well, since no one can beat you, Xiaochuan, you can't always stay outside. Hurry up and bring him back. If he stays outside for a long time, he doesn't think it's fun, and he plays Erase Universe again, do I have to suck him up again? Luo Tian sighed. Guard. The guard's expression changed again and again. Champa and Beerus straightened their backs, feeling that it was great to be by Master's side. Master Guard, I can assure you that Luo Tian is a good person, and he will never do anything excessive to Master Xiaochuan. Sawyer stepped forward to persuade him. The guard glanced at Sawyer. Do you promise it will work? If Master Xiaochuan is also sucked dry by him, there is really no hope for Quan Universe in the future. But the guard thought about it carefully, and was afraid that Xiaochuan would play a childish temper, and erased all the universes at once. Okay, I'll contact Lord Xiaochuan right now. The guard nodded solemnly. Immediately afterwards, the guard no longer hesitated, and immediately went to a farther place to get in touch with another guard. The guard told his companions everything that happened here. After the other guard heard the other party's words, he was completely dumbfounded. Does such a guy exist? Even Mr. Zeno was sucked dry by him. Guard 2 couldn't laugh or cry. That's the truth. Guard 1 replied. Now he has Lord Xiaochuan come back to inherit the position of Lord Zeno, and plans to redesign the God realm. What do you think? Is Master Zeno awake yet? Guard 2 asked. Not yet. Guard 1 shook his head. Why don't you wait for Master Zeno to wake up? Wait for Master Zeno to make a decision. Guard 2 didn't dare to take Xiaoquan to take risks. You must be optimistic about Master Xiaochuan, please don't be impulsive, this man named Luo Tian said that if Master Xiaochuan dares to erase the entire universe, he will suck up the power of Master Xiaochuan's erasure. Guard 1 urged repeatedly. I see, I will pay attention. Guard 2 replied. The guard here is talking to another guard. Zeno suddenly got up from the ground, opened his eyes, and quickly sensed the energy in his body. Zeno's expression gradually froze. What about the erasing power within me? Why do I feel that the erasing power in my body has disappeared? My current erasing power seems to be able to erase only 1 teacup, right? What happened? I remembered. It was Tiger who rebelled. He sealed me up while I was weak and asleep. Zeno gritted his teeth and got up from the ground, and saw Tiger not far away at a glance. Tiger, who gave you the courage to rebel? Zeno was furious, and kicked Tiger. Tiger was kicked by Zeno and fell to the ground. After Zeno gave Tiger a kick, he also found that something was wrong with him and the other party. Why am I powerless with him? I feel so empty. Zeno, can't you think of it? Your erasing power has been sucked dry by that kid. I didn't expect you to have today. Tiger laughed at that time. What? Absorption? You said he absorbed my erasure power. Zeno was taken aback. Master Zeno is awake. I won't tell you now. I guess Master Zeno is still a little confused now. I'll go and tell him what happened. Guard 1 hurriedly said to Guard 2. Okay, I'll wait for your news here. Guard 2 replied. Guard 1 quickly ended the call and quickly appeared beside Zeno. Master Zeno. Guard 1 bowed and saluted. What happened? Zeno was still a little panicked. The guard had no choice but to grit his teeth, and told Zeno everything that happened before. What? Heart of darkness. Zeno became furious. Tiger, you are so brave, you actually planted something for me. Anyway, I have enough. Tiger sneered. Tiger, I usually treat you well, why do you turn against me? Zeno asked with a cold face. I can't stand your condescension for a long time. Tiger's face also became gloomy, and he patted his chest. Besides, why do you ask your son to erase those 6 universes? I have worked hard for many years, clansman. Let you and your son be wiped out with a wave of your hand. Do you know, my heart will ache. After you became the gods of destruction, I warned you not to develop your ethnic group, as sooner or later the entire universe will lose its balance. Zeno said coldly, as the leader of the entire universe gods of destruction, if you don't go prevent other gods of destruction from doing such things, but you take the lead in teaching them to do it. If I don't erase those problematic universes, why should I keep them? It can only be said that our ideas do not agree, and I have nothing to say. Tiger snorted, and simply stopped talking. Execute. Zeno sighed helplessly, and ordered to the guards around him. Yes, Master Zeno. The guard nodded. Boom. The next moment, the guard waved his big hand forward, and a powerful energy quickly covered Tiger's body. Immediately, Tiger turned into nothingness, completely vanishing into thin air. After eliminating Tiger, Zeno looked at Luo Tian with sharp eyes. Luo Tian felt a burst of emotion in his heart. As expected of a real Zeno. There is no energy in the body, and the whole body still exudes the aura of a superior. It is the powerful momentum of those who have been in power for a long time. Luo Tian has no way to absorb this thing. First of all, thank you for taking the shot at the critical moment. Zeno thanked. Where is that? I thought you were going to blame me for absorbing your erasing power. Luo Tian smiled slightly. That's what I wanted to say in the next sentence. In the end, you said everything I said. What do you want me to say? Zeno took a deep breath and almost suffered internal injuries. You are a descendant of Yuan Zun, right? Zeno asked. Yes. Luo Tian nodded. I heard Sawyer talk about Yuan Zun. He is indeed a very remarkable person. If he could become gods of destruction back then, perhaps the chaos like today would not have occurred. Zeno sighed for a while. I'm also to blame for this incident. I usually neglect the management of the universe, which caused the major gods of destruction to continuously develop their own groups, causing many universes to have problems that shouldn't have arisen. Everyone makes mistakes, and God is no exception. Luo Tian smiled. The little guy is quite good at talking. Zeno laughed. To end the chaotic situation of this universe, I think we should formulate new rules as soon as possible and replace it with fresh blood. Luo Tian suggested. Oh, So you have a good universe construction plan. Zeno was slightly taken aback. First of all, Master Zeno has no power to erase it now. Why not give up the position to your son Xiaochuan as soon as possible, and let him become the latest Zeno in the universe? Luo Tian suggested. The biggest ideal of my two apprentices is to become an outstanding gods of destruction. I have already selected the universe for them, so let them go to the 6th universe and the 7th universe. Luo Tian pointed out refers to Champa and Beerus behind them. Zeno felt speechless again, but you can rest assured that I will restrain them well and never let them mess around. Luo Tian comforted, it can no longer be like the previous gods of destruction without any rules and 230 million. Then tell me, how can I restrain these gods of destruction? Zeno asked calmly. First of all, the first rule is that you must not use the power of the gods of destruction to develop your own ethnic group. The existing gods of destruction, but anyone who violates this rule and does not intend to cooperate with the transformation, immediately cut off his gods of destruction god position, kill those who refuse to accept it. Luo Tian said, okay, no problem. Zeno nodded in agreement. The second rule is that a universe can only be destroyed if it is created. It stands to reason that the god of creation, Supreme Kai, is the greatest god of this universe. Luo Tian added. Oh, Zeno was slightly taken aback, but he didn't expect Lu Tian to say such a thing. Supreme Kai Sawyer burst into tears with excitement. Luo Tian, you are really a good person. Therefore, the status of Supreme Kai must be improved, and the gods of destruction must not be allowed to bully Supreme Kai arbitrarily. Luo Tian said. I have said similar things to all the gods of destruction before, so that they must not deliberately target Supreme Kai. Zeno sighed helplessly, but the strength of gods of destruction is too strong, the strength of Supreme Kai and it is relatively weak. To this day, it is difficult to change this situation. Even if you give an order, these gods of destruction do not deal with Supreme Kai in private. Can you find that you can change gods of destruction every time? It's very simple, let their lives be bound. Luo Tian said. Life bound. Zeno was taken aback. That's right, bind the lives of gods of destruction and Supreme Kai together. If one of them dies, the other will disappear, so that these gods of destruction will not dare to make trouble everywhere. Luo Tian said his own idea. That's a good idea. Zeno's eyes lit up. Just do as you say. I heard that there are several universes that don't have a Supreme Kai. Right, Luo Tian asked. Yes, gods of destruction in some universes is too rampant, no Supreme Kai dares to take office. Zishan sighed. In this way, I will serve as the inspector of the god realm, responsible for inspecting the gods of the universe. Once I find a god with a problem, I will clean it up immediately. Luo Tian said his plan. God realm inspector. Zeno was slightly taken aback. Yes, I will go to the major universes to inspect and deal with some illegal gods. Luo Tian replied, after dealing with these illegal and sabotage Shendu, I will appoint a new Supreme Kai to take the position, and then recruit new ones. The gods of destruction. If you want to inspect the major universes, I don't know how long it will take you. Zeno pondered. It's okay, there are a few universes that don't need to be inspected anymore, that's fine. Lu Tian smiled. Zeno showed a question mark on his face. The gods of destruction of the 6th universe and the 7th universe have been sealed by me. The gods of destruction of the 4th universe was killed by me, and the Tauren and Goatman who came to accompany the big gods of destruction Tiger to rebel. Which universe's gods of destruction are they from? Luo Tian asked here. I didn't expect that this kid could really fight. So many gods of destruction were wiped out before this. The two gods of destruction you mentioned are the gods of destruction of the 9th universe and the 10th universe, and their names are. The guard responded quickly. The name doesn't matter anymore. Luo Tian waved his hand. Yes, the guard immediately replied respectfully. What you said is feasible. I also agree to step aside and let my son become the new Zeno. Zeno smiled. Then I'll call you old Zeno from now on. Luo Tian pondered. It doesn't matter. Zeno smiled kindly, and told the guards, let Xiaochuan and your brother come back. Yes, Master Zeno. Guard 1 immediately responded respectfully. Shua. Soon, Xiaoquan and Guard 2 returned. Father. Xiaochuan rushed towards Zeno. It's just that Xiaoquan accidentally threw Zeno to the ground because of his excessive force. After all, Zeno doesn't have much strength now. Dad, it's great that you're fine. Xiaochuan cried with tears streaming down his face. Xiaochuan, don't cry. Dad will be fine. Zeno smiled kindly. I thought I'd never see Dad again. Xiaochuan wiped away his tears. Is Dad still the best? Did Dad beat Tiger after he woke up? No, it's not Dad. It was Tiger that Luo Tian helped to defeat. He saved Dad's life. You should thank him very much. Zeno smiled. Is it the father saved by Luo Tian? Xiao Quan was stunned for a moment, and immediately came to Luo Tian's side, looking up at Luo Tian. There was a brief silence. Thank you, Luo Tian. Xiao Quan offered to extend his hand. You're welcome. Luo Tian also smiled back. I will definitely repay you well in the future. Xiaochuan promised. There's no need to do it later, just repay it now. I don't ask too much. Let your father talk about it. Luo Tian said here, pointing to Zeno behind his small body. Xiaochuan rushed over in a hurry. Xiaochuan, from today onwards, Dad has decided to let you become the new Zeno, responsible for leading the entire universe. As for rubbing Xiaochuan's head, he said. Hey, make me the new Zeno. Xiao Quan was taken aback. Yes, Zeno nodded. I don't want it, I don't want to be a Zeno, I just want to have fun every day. Xiaochuan shook his head vigorously. Being Zeno, you can still play well every day, and this will not be affected at all. Zeno lowered his voice and whispered, let the big brother, the inspector named Luo Tian, do everything. Do you think it's good? Can this be done? Xiao Quan was thoughtful. Yes, Xiaochuan can do what he likes. Zeno smiled. Then what is Dad going to do? Xiaochuan asked. Dad is a bit tired, so he needs to rest for a while. Zeno said, Xiao Quan has grown up, so he should work for Dad. Well then, I will definitely be obedient. Xiaochuan replied. Then, Xiaochuan is the real Zeno from now on, and they need to call me old Zeno from now on. Zeno smiled. Father is not old at all. Xiao Quan pouted. Today, change to the first year of the divine calendar. Zeno announced to the two guards, and then nodded to Sawyer. Sawyer immediately knelt down and saluted. The two guards also knelt down and saluted the new Zeno. Luo Tian did not kneel down. Kneel to heaven, kneel to parents, kneel to ancestors. What Zeno? I just don't want to be Zeno. If I want to be, I can completely replace it. The inauguration ceremony of the new Zeno is very simple, so simple that no ceremony is required. Luo Tian, please take care of Xiaochuan in the future. Old Zeno said. Where are you going? Luo Tian was taken aback. I may need to sleep for a while. Old Zeno sighed. My erasing power is almost exhausted, and I need a lot of sleep to replenish my strength, otherwise I will die too. Quote. Do you need me to give you points? Luo Tian asked. No need, as long as you sleep for hundreds of millions of years, you will recover. Old Zeno laughed, and you boy didn't intend to return it to me. Let you see it. Luo Tian grinned. I hope that when I wake up, I can see the bustling scene of the whole universe. Old Zeno stepped forward and patted Luo Tian on the shoulder. Wait a minute, have you heard of Salama? Luo Tian asked before the old Zeno fell asleep. No, I haven't heard of it. Old Zeno shook his head. Luo Tian thought about it carefully, and remembered that Salama seemed to be a super Dragon Ball created more than 40 years ago in the divine calendar. God's calendar is not the same as common's calendar. Maybe thousands of years have passed since the year mentioned in the divine calendar. In other words, the appearance of Salama will be at least how many years in the future, right? This is so. The timeline I traveled was really early enough. Why are you looking for that Salama? Old Quan Wangqi asked strangely. Then do you know if there is any ball that can grant any wish? Luo Tian asked again. I've never heard of it. Old Zeno shook his head. Is there such a magical thing? Can dead people be resurrected? You're right. Luo Tian nodded. Old Zeno. What? You are the greatest god in this universe, can't even you resurrect the dead? Luo Tian asked strangely. I can't do it. Old Zeno shook his head slightly. You can just erase the halo on the dead man's head. Luo Tian suggested. Ahem. Then his soul will be severely injured, and he may disappear directly. Old Zeno wiped his sweat. Forget it, let's wash up and sleep quickly. After I plan the god realm, I will find a more suitable god race to manage the entire universe. Luo Tian smiled and said, but don't worry, your son will always be there. They are the greatest gods in this world. With your words, I feel relieved. Old Zeno nodded in satisfaction. Snapped. The old Zeno changed suddenly, turned into a streamer of light, and quickly submerged into the word, Wang, on Xiaochuan's clothes. The light is fleeting. Father, rest well, Xiao will not let you down. Xiao Quan murmured. Luo Tian silently felt the word, King, on Xiao's body. Sure enough, the erasing power of this word is slowly increasing, but the progress of the improvement is very slow. It seems that old Zeno was right, with his constant sleep, he should be able to return to his previous peak state. According to him, it might be hundreds of millions of years later. After all, the old Zeno lost too much erasure power this time. Hey, Inspector Luo Tian, what are your plans? Listen to my father, let me cooperate with you, you can just say it. Xiaochuan greeted, and I also want to thank you, you saved my father. Call all the gods of destruction and Supreme Kai from all universes, and finish talking at once, so as not to have to notify each universe. Luo Tian said. Well, good, Xiaochuan nodded. Then, there is no more. Luo Tian was still waiting for Xiaochuan to issue an order. As a result, after waiting for a while, did Xiaochuan have any reaction? Can't you let the Supreme Kai of all universes and destroy Shendu come to the temple? Luo Tian asked. Sorry, Master Inspector, even Master Zeno doesn't have this ability. But Supreme Kai has the ability to communicate with various universes through the crystal ball. The guard explained. If you don't mind, I'll let you know one by one. Supreme Kai Sawyer responded quickly, and had already prepared the crystal ball. Put the crystal ball on Zeno and let Zeno issue orders. Luo Tian ordered. Yes, Sawyer replied. Immediately afterwards, Sawyer suspended the crystal ball in front of Zeno, while chanting words. Snapped. An invisible divine power quickly covered the crystal ball. The first is Supreme Kai from the first universe and gods of destruction, Sawyer explained. The screen of the crystal ball flashed, and a Supreme Kai with light blue skin appeared inside. Chapter 71. Sawyer, you're looking for me. Supreme Kai from the first universe frowned, just about to get angry, but when he saw Zeno's lifeless eyes, he was so frightened that he knelt down. The Supreme Kai of the first universe never imagined that the person talking to him was Master Zeno. Something is wrong, why does Master Zeno seem to be getting smaller? Is there something wrong with the crystal ball? Hey, take gods of destruction to the temple immediately, and immediately give orders to the king. Yes. Supreme Kai of the first universe was stunned for a long time, and quickly nodded in agreement. It's strange, Master Zeno's voice has changed, it seems childish. Could he be Master Zeno's son? Yes, I heard before that Lord Zeno has a son. He should be right, I'd better go quickly. Next, Zeno said to Sawyer. The second universe doesn't have a Supreme Kai yet, and Gods of Destruction is dead, so there's nothing to relate to either. There is no Supreme Kai in the third universe, and Gods of Destruction is not alive. Sawyer immediately got in touch with Gods of Destruction in the third universe. The Gods of Destruction of the third universe is a race that looks like a rabbit. Luo Tian looked at the past from a distance and found that his image has some similarities with the future Dispo. Sawyer, how dare you talk to me? If it wasn't for you, how could those universes disappear? The rabbit gods of destruction cursed at Sawyer after getting through the phone. Then, the rabbit gods of destruction saw a scene that made him feel endless terror. Isn't this Master Zeno? You Sawyer, you don't talk about Wood. You actually asked Master Zeno to answer the phone directly for me. Are you crazy? Sorry, Master Zeno, I didn't know it was you. The rabbit gods of destruction was about to cry and knelt down. Master Zeno ordered all the gods to come to the temple immediately. There is an important meeting to be held. I will ask Supreme Kai from the first universe to pick you up. Sawyer said. Yes, the rabbit gods of destruction nodded. Shua. At this moment, the Supreme Kai of the first universe also immediately brought gods of destruction to cast instant transmission and appeared in the temple of Zeno. You came at the right time. You go to pick up gods of destruction from the third universe, because their universe doesn't have a Supreme Kai. If he rushes over from their universe, it will take a few days. Suo ordered directly. Supreme Kai from the first universe was stunned for a moment, and didn't intend to act immediately but instead looked in Zeno's direction. Zeno tilted his head and glanced at him. Yes, I'll go right away. The Supreme Kai of the first universe no longer hesitated, and immediately cast instant transmission to leave. Next, Sawyer made connections from universe to universe. Luo Tian discovered that among these universes, there are quite a lot of universes without Supreme Kai. The second universe, third universe, fourth universe, sixth universe, 10th universe, and 12th universe do not have a Supreme Kai. That is, there are 6 universes where no Supreme Kai exists. All universes have gods of destruction though. Of course there are already several universes that don't have gods of destruction anymore. Under Sawyer's arrangement, it took a lot of time before all the Supreme Kai and gods of destruction were assembled, and they appeared on the temple, kneeling and saluting to the Lord. Luo Tian looked at the time. It would take 30 minutes to summon all the gods to the temple. This is still a lot of gods of destruction, and Shendu did not exist. Today's god realm is simply a mess. It's a pity that the angels don't know where they are. With the assistance of the angel family, a lot of trouble can be saved. At least like Grand Priest, just snap your fingers, and all Shendu will be summoned by him directly. Now, all the Supreme Kais and Sabotage Shendu in the entire universe are kneeling on the ground, feeling a little uneasy and puzzled in their hearts. What happened? Since all the supreme gods of the universe came to the meeting, why didn't you see Lord Gods of Destruction and Master Zeno? Why is Master Xiaochuan presiding over the overall situation there? What qualifications does Sawyer, the Supreme Kai, have to stand beside Master Xiaochuan? Also, who are those 3 guys? 2 cat people in a strange race. Hey, Inspector, tell me, Zeno said to Luo Tian. Okay, then I won't be polite. Luo Tian smiled slightly, stepped forward, appeared beside Zeno, and scanned the gods walking in front of him. The gods were stunned again. What's the situation? Inspector, since when did God Realm have an inspector seat? Everyone, please raise your heads. Luo Tian said. All the Shendu present looked up at Luo Tian in astonishment, not knowing what he wanted to do at all. The guy seemed kind enough. Of course, there are also very few 1 or 2 gods of destruction who seem to have seen an ancient race from Luo Tian's face. That is Yuan Zun's human race. Isn't there no such race in the whole universe? Also, what about the 3 brothers, Relagio and the others? Why didn't they come? First of all, let me introduce myself. I am the first inspector appointed by God Realm. My name is Luo Tian. With a smile on his face, Luo Tian revealed his identity to the gods. It is not easy for the gods to make any comments now, and they all remain silent. The inspector's status is not low, it can almost sit on the same level as Master Zeno. Luo Tian added, well, it is higher than the previous great gods of destruction. As soon as this remark came out, the Supreme Kai who was present was able to say something, but the gods of destruction immediately exploded. At that time, a gods of destruction monkey jumped out anxiously. What did you say? Are you saying that your god is higher than Lord Gods of Destruction? Even equal to Lord Zeno? The talking gods of destruction are bunny tribes from the first universe. Little guy, I don't think you are too old, right? You can't take this kind of joke. The Wolf Clan gods of destruction of the 11th universe smiled contemptuously. That's right. Let's talk about it when Master Zeno and Lord Gods of Destruction come. The gods of destruction of the 12th universe is also a rabbit clan, and echoed. Luo Tian could tell that the gods of destruction of the 12th universe and the first universe should be of the same family, maybe they were brothers. Very well, I don't have any other hobbies as an inspector, and I specialize in dealing with all kinds of dissatisfaction. Luo Tian smiled lightly. Master, do you have to deal with this kind of guy yourself? Let me do it, Beerus volunteered. Luo Tian nodded slightly. Call out. Beerus turned into a streamer of light, and appeared in front of the gods of destruction whom he had just called his favorite in an instant. The favorite gods of destruction is the rabbit family of the first universe. Rabbit gods of destruction from the first universe changes color slightly after seeing Beerus appearing across from him. This cat is so fast. Beerus slapped it. The rabbit gods of destruction raised his arms right then, ready to defend. Boom! With a bang, Beerus' palm slapped the rabbit gods of destruction's arm. Crack! Only the sound of a broken bone was heard. Rabbit gods of destruction felt the pain at the time. You must know that Beerus' strength has already reached the third stage of the gods of destruction level. Although it is only the initial stage of the third stage, it can be regarded as a relatively outstanding existence in gods of destruction. And the strength of the rabbit gods of destruction in the first universe is only around the middle of the second stage. Who wins and who loses can be determined almost in 1 or 2 rounds. And the current Beerus is not like hundreds of millions of years in the future. When they fight, they like to hide, and when they come up, they go straight to the real thing. Ah! Rabbit gods of destruction let out a scream. Presumptuous. Seeing this situation, the gods of destruction of the 11th universe and the 12th universe were furious at the time, and they were about to join forces to attack Beerus. Here, the strength of the rabbit gods of destruction of the 12th universe has reached the third stage. So, if he came up to help, it would be a little more troublesome for Beerus to deal with. Boom! Luo Tian didn't have any kindness, and directly waved his palm through the air. There was another muffled sound. The next moment, the gods of destruction of the 11th universe and the gods of destruction of the 12th universe flew upside down at that time, and fell to the ground with blood spurting wildly from their mouths. Seeing Luo Tian's understatement, he knocked these 2 gods of destruction away, and the other gods of destruction present all turned pale with fright. Those of gods of destruction who were not involved in this event, feel the boundless rejoicing. Who is this guy? Why is he so strong? Bang bang bang. On the other side, Beerus also charged forward, beating the gods of destruction from the first universe until his nose was bruised and his face was swollen, unable to resist. The next moment, Beerus returned to his original position, and fought there like a normal person. The Supreme Kai's Lees were also stunned. When did God Realm have such a powerful god? What is the origin of this cat? Is there anyone who is not convinced? Luo Tian sneered. The gods were silent. Many Shendu secretly looked at Zeno. It's just that Xiaochuan has fallen asleep on the throne. Gods. The mentality of the gods almost collapsed. It doesn't matter whether you accept it or not. The reason why I called you here today is that I have to announce several things. Luo Tian smiled and said, first of all, it is about my identity. I have already told you about it. From now on, I will be the patrol envoy of the God Realm. The God position is on par with Lord Zeno. All Shendu swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Since Master Zeno doesn't speak, let's just listen patiently. Second thing, Mr. Zeno has important things to do, so Mr. Xiaochuan, the son of Mr. Zeno, took over his God position and became the new Mr. Zeno. My words are a bit awkward, do you understand? Luo Tian went on to announce the second thing. As soon as this remark came out, the gods present froze again. The gods were more shocked than the last, and their expressions changed again and again. Well, why don't you guys say a word? Luo Tian smiled. You can talk about it in a low voice, or it won't be good if you get bored. The gods were really surprised. When they heard Luo Tian say that they could discuss in a low voice, they didn't have any hesitation at that time. Master Zeno passed the position of God to Master Xiaochuan. How did this happen? Didn't this happen too suddenly? Actually, it's normal to think about it carefully. Mr. Zeno also has a child in recent years. Isn't his purpose of having a child is to inherit his God position? The gods talked with each other, and they really felt that the world of gods had changed. Okay, now I will announce the third thing. Luo Tian continued. The gods immediately shut up and listened patiently one by one. The third thing is, from now on, the gods of the great gods of destruction will be cancelled. Gods of destruction and Supreme Kai will be managed by me personally. If you don't do enough to satisfy me, I can deprive you of your gods. Of course, if you have done very excessive things, I don't mind spoiling you. Luo Tian announced the third matter again. As soon as this remark came out, the gods present fried the pot again. Ah, by the way, it's worth mentioning that the previous big gods of destruction Tiger rebelled, and I beat him to death. Luo Tian added lightly. After hearing the news, the gods almost dropped their jaws. Lord Tiger is dead. Real or fake? That's Lord Gods of Destruction. It is said that even the 12 Lords of Gods of Destruction are no match for him. Just die. No wonder Lord Tiger was not seen at the scene. Master Zeno is not here either. It seems that he has left everything to the newly appointed inspector. Then there are some new rules of the gods of destruction. I will briefly introduce you here. Luo Tian announced with a cold face. As far as I know, there are many gods of destruction who like to develop their own groups and make their own groups in my own universe as a blessing. Of course, there are some gods of destruction who do it more covertly, and reach some kind of shady deal with gods of destruction in other universes, and develop the ethnic group to other universes. Immediately go back and clean up your group, shrink them to a planet, let them fend for themselves, and never allow them to leave that planet, nor interfere with them in the slightest. As soon as this remark came out, the faces of the many gods of destruction present changed again and again. In fact, most of the saboteurs are developing their own groups. However, apart from the 6 universes that disappeared and the 7th universe, the other universes did not go too far. But it is still possible to rule a galaxy. Now that Luo Tian announced that they would shrink the group as soon as he took office, the gods of destruction present felt a burst of crisis. I won't pursue what happened before. I know that you all will develop your own ethnic group to some extent, but from now on, I don't want this kind of thing to happen again. Luo Tian narrowed his eyes and said, in this way, I will give you 7 days to shrink your ethnic group to one planet and let them fend for themselves, is it okay? The faces of the several gods of destruction present became as ugly as they were. After 7 days, I will go to various universes to inspect, and if any universes with problems are found, let me personally destroy their gods. Luo Tian snorted coldly. The several gods of destruction present were trembling with fear. One more thing, you have to be mentally prepared. Luo Tian continued, because the gods of destruction are too strong, they always like to bully Supreme Kai who is weaker than them. When he was working on a planet, gods of destruction destroyed him and the planet he was working on, causing this Supreme Kai to die on the spot. In the end, I just said sorry, and it was over. The several saboteurs present at the scene knew about it, but when it was said from Luo Tian's mouth at this time, they immediately had a bad feeling. Do you feel like there are new rules coming into effect? So, after a while, I plan to bind the lives of your gods of destruction and the Supreme Kai of your respective universes together. When one of them dies, the other 10 parties will also disappear. Luo Tian announced. As soon as this remark came out, the gods of destruction present exploded again. Those few gods of destruction who hadn't come out to dance before, couldn't help but sit still at this time. The gods of destruction of the 3rd universe raised their hands. You say, Luo Tian said. Master Inspector, you know. Gods of destruction of the 3rd universe said, compared to our gods of destruction, Supreme Kai is really too weak. It is possible to die when encountering a powerful ethnic group. The Supreme Kai of our universe died like this. If the life of gods of destruction is bound to the life of Supreme Kai, doesn't it mean that our gods of destruction is it possible to disappear while sleeping? Stop worrying so much. Just protect your Supreme Kai. Beerus retorted from the side. Luo Tian, my good boy, why do you choose to speak out at this time? In a certain time and space in the future, didn't you just disappear while sleeping? Gods of destruction in the 3rd universe was also speechless for a while. This kitten is simply too hateful. In any case, Supreme Kai can be regarded as a relatively powerful god in each universe, and he can use instant transmission. In case of crisis, he can use instant transmission to leave immediately. Luo Tian said, here, I also advise everyone Supreme Kai, from now on, if you encounter danger, don't take it hard, and when the time is right, you can teleport to the planet of gods of destruction to ask gods of destruction for help. Yes, Lord Inspector. The Supreme Kai who were present knelt down and saluted one after another, feeling extremely grateful in their hearts. Let's talk so much today. I'm afraid you won't be able to digest too much. Now all the gods of destruction immediately go back to rectify their universes. Luo Tian announced. Yes, the gods of destruction also knelt down and saluted. AGFJ, you can all go. Luo Tian waved his hand. Subsequently, the Supreme Kai left the temple with gods of destruction and returned to their respective universes. For some universes without Supreme Kai, the Supreme Kai of other universes will also help to send it. Gods of Destruction. Rakuzi from the first universe had just returned when he saw Supreme Kai bringing Gods of Destruction Yakuzi from the 12th universe over. Brother, why are you here? Don't you hurry back and shrink your own group? Lakuzi, the first universe Gods of Destruction, asked. Do you still have to do that kind of thing yourself? Just say hello to the ethnic group. The 12th universe Gods of Destruction. Yakuzi smiled, and then looked at the two Supreme Kais present. The two Supreme Kais were also more knowledgeable, and immediately cast instant transmission to say goodbye. Only two brothers from the rabbit family were left at the scene. Brother, what's the matter? Lakuzi asked. Brother, do you plan to leave this matter alone? Wukuzi's face became gloomy. But what can we do? That guy is too strong. Even his disciple, that newly weaned kitten, is also very strong. Lakuzi shook his head helplessly. Didn't he say that? Lord Tiger, they were all beaten to death by him. In the whole universe, who else could be his opponent? And Master Zeno is on his side. HMPH, not in our universes, but don't forget, last time it was in a certain position in our two universes. Wukuzi showed a smile on his face. Brother, it's not good. Do you want to open the results over there? Lakuchi's face changed again and again. Brother, think about it, what will our days be like? Now Kuzi said in a deep voice. Lakuzi thought about it carefully, and it seemed that there was nothing wrong with what the elder brother said. For the two brothers, the next life will be in dire straits. It's nothing more than the shrinking of the ethnic groups, and they can't interfere with them as the supreme god. In case they are beaten to death by other ethnic groups, will we just stand by and stare blankly? That's all about the ethnic group. The most hateful thing is that our lives are still tied to Supreme Kai. If one day when we were sleeping, Supreme Kai ran out to kill us, and we disappeared with him. Who to talk to? Anyway, I will never agree to the idea of binding life. Wukuzi said coldly. I don't think other gods of destruction will agree either. But how will he bind us in Supreme Kai's lives? Lakuzi asked curiously. I don't know at the moment. According to my guess, we need to establish a contract with Supreme Kai or something. Shikuzi guessed. Although I don't want to agree, but if I don't agree, I will be beaten to death by him. I feel that he will never show mercy. Lakuzi shook his head. So, it's time to open that enchantment. Wukuzi touched his chin and said, the gods of our universe can't do anything about it. I still don't believe it, so the gods of other worlds can't do anything about him. Brother, if the gods of other worlds are really stronger than him, we are also in danger. Lakuzi smiled wryly. My silly brother, we, as guides, guide the gods of other worlds into our world, and bring them to the temple, let them rule our world. We just need to keep our current god position. And we are also responsible. I don't think they would refuse to help him manage their respective universes. Wukuzi smiled. Of course, the premise is that they are strong enough. Lakuzi stopped talking and bowed his head to weigh the pros and cons. There was silence for a full minute. Okay, I'll listen to my brother. Lakuzi finally made up his mind and clenched his fists tightly. When I think about the torture in the future, I might as well fight it out, or die. That's right. Shikuzi nodded in satisfaction, and added, but the two of us alone can't open that barrier. It's better to join forces with other gods of destruction. I think other gods of destruction will agree with us. By the way, Shendu didn't go to the temple for destroying several universes this time. Are they all killed by him? Lakuzi's face was sweating. It's very possible, so the few gods of destruction we have left can be said to be in a very dangerous situation, and we must unite as soon as possible. Now Kuzi said. Immediately afterwards, the two brothers contacted several gods of destruction in other universes. 3 days later, all the gods of destruction gathered in the weak position connecting the first universe and the 12th universe. And in that position, there is a barrier of blue. The enchantment presents a large swirl of weirdness. It's just that this weird vortex seems to be sealed by something like spar, suspended in the starry sky, motionless. Let's attack together. We must smash this enchantment. Now Kuzi shouted. The 7 gods of destruction worked together, bombarding the barrier with destructive energy one after another. However, after the seemingly powerful destructive energy hit the barrier did not respond at all. What is this thing so strong? Exclaimed gods of destruction. Master Zeno specially sealed this with his powerful divine power. All we can do is grind it bit by bit. Wu Kuzi explained, when the seal of Master Zeno is worn away, GSC it can be opened. Then let's continue. We only have 7 days. Lukuzi said loudly, we must not sit still, success or failure depends on one move. Shrine. Master Inspector, I don't think most gods of destruction agree with your orders. Sawyer sighed. It doesn't matter if you don't agree, then replace these destructive Shendu. Luo Tian smiled. By the way, Sawyer, you should publish it in the 4th universe, the 9th universe and the 10th universe right now. These 3 universes a new gods of destruction is needed, and humans of all races are welcome to sign up. Yes, Lord Inspector. Sawyer bowed immediately. You send us back to the 7th universe first, and then you go to do what I just said. Luo Tian said. Okay, Sawyer replied. Xiaochuan, I'll take my leave first. Luo Tian greeted Zeno. Zeno slowly opened his eyes and looked towards Luo Tian. Huh, is the meeting over yet? I fell asleep just now, I'm really sorry. Xiaochuan scratched his head. I don't have anything to do, I'll leave first. Luo Tian waved his hand. Well, let's go. Xiaochuan nodded and replied with some fear. This is like the reason why children are afraid of fierce people. For Xiaochuan, he was really afraid of Lu Tian. Because Luo Tian is a fierce man. Even the big gods of destruction tiger was killed. Master Zeno, I'm going to see off Lord Inspector. Sawyer bowed and saluted. Go. Xiaochuan didn't object. In just a split second, Sawyer immediately cast instant transmission, bringing Luo Tian, Beerus and Champa to appear above the gods of destruction star in the 7th universe. This is the gods of destruction star of the 7th universe. Sawyer explained. In other words, is it my planet? Biliki was excited. Master Inspector, then I'm going to issue an order message. Sawyer saluted Luo Tian again. Suoya, when there are no outsiders, you don't have to be so polite. Luo Tian smiled and said, anyway, you are also my elder. When there are outsiders, you can just call me Luo Tian. Ah, how embarrassing that is. I'd better call you Mr. Inspector. Sawyer laughed, and replied with some embarrassment. Well, since you're embarrassed, forget it. Luo Tian said. Sawyer, you don't hold on anymore. Sawyer, although you didn't do much to me and my ancestor Yuan Zun, but you were kind to us, Luo Tian sighed. Sawyer didn't want to talk anymore. What are you talking about? You might as well not say it. But what you say seems to make sense. I really couldn't be of much help. Because I am helpless. We are facing gods of destruction. Moreover, whether it was Yuan Zun or Rulagu in that period, their strength has long surpassed my supreme Kai. I am powerless. I will always remember your kindness. Luo Tian said. Whereas there, the inspector is too serious. Sawyer said hastily. So I thought, how about getting you a Supreme Kai Commander Dang Dang in the future? Luo Tian asked. I saw that your performance just now is still very leadership. Oh, no need. Sawyer shook his head lightly. Actually, most of us Supreme Kai don't care much about these gods. Supreme Kai is the god of creation and the god of maintaining the peace of the universe. As long as the universe can peace, to develop in a better direction, even if it costs us our lives, it doesn't matter. Is it really unnecessary? Don't be polite to me about this kind of thing. Luo Tian asked again. You really don't need it, I'm really not being polite. Sawyer waved his hand. All right then. Luo Tian said no more. Master Inspector, then I will take my leave first. I will go to these 3 universes to release a message and pick out a new gods of destruction as soon as possible. Sawyer smiled. Thank you. Luo Tian nodded. KK. After Sawyer finished speaking, he immediately cast instant transmission and left. Luo Tian, Beerus and Champa looked at the gods of destruction star below. Master, this planet looks pretty good. Beerus giggled, looking a little excited. Master, when will you take me to the gods of destruction planet in the 6th universe? Champa pouted, wanting to take the post immediately. Let's go down. Luo Tian greeted. Yes, Master. Champa and Beerus answered together. Immediately afterwards, Luo Tian brought Champa and Beerus down from the sky. In the lake below, it seems to have sensed the arrival of Luo Tian and others, predicting that the fish has long been floating above the lake water, looking forward to it. After seeing 3 people fall, call out, without the slightest hesitation, the predicted fish immediately controlled the fish tank and flew forward quickly. Greetings to the strongest god in the universe. Greetings to the new Lord Gods of Destruction. It is predicted that the fish will kneel down and salute. Luo Tian. Beerus' eyes widened. Champa also showed surprise on his face. This fish can also talk. And your kneeling posture is very individual. Get up. Luo Tian smiled. Thank you, the strongest god of the universe. The prophecy fish hurriedly said, and got up slowly, then looked at Luo Tian without blinking, and then at Beerus. As for Champa, it has been ignored by the prophesied fish. Because the prophecy fish had predicted it long ago, Champa has nothing to do with him. You are nothing more than the gods of destruction of the sixth universe. Let me first take a look at what gods of destruction in our universe looks like. In the past, it was just a prophecy, and it was somewhat different from the reality. Hey, what do you mean? Champa felt pricked at that moment. Why don't you look at me? I'm so fat, can't you see me? Who are you? Beerus asked strangely. Ah, I am the prophecy fish, you can understand that I am the god fish. The prophecy fish explained, I am the only god born on this planet. So you must be very strong. Beerus' eyes lit up, and he regained his energy immediately. Well, cough cough. Of course, prophecy fish smiled triumphantly. Look at the trick. Beerus didn't have any politeness at the time, and patted it with a paw. Prophecy fish. Boom. Accompanied by a muffled sound, the prophesied fish was unfortunately hit and fell out of the fish tank, rolling dozens of somersaults in the air. Slap. It is predicted that the fish will fall to the ground and feel that the whole fish is not well. What? It turned out to be a bragging fish. Beerus snorted. TCH, I also thought he was very powerful. Luckily, Beerus, you didn't take it seriously, or you might kill him with one punch. Champa chuckled. Prophecy fish, get up. Luo Tian spoke. Yes, the prophecy fish immediately stood up like a spring, and quickly appeared opposite Luo Tian, with an extremely respectful attitude. Let me ask you, have you heard of Salama? Luo Tian asked. The prophecy fish shook his head blankly. Luo Tian was disappointed for a while. It seemed that it would be very difficult for Salama to come out in a short time. Do you have a prophecy about the angel family? Luo Tian asked again. The prophecy fish shook his head again. Ask and don't know, you'd better go swimming in the water. Beerus got a little impatient, and was about to slap him. The prophecy fish feels that its psychological shadow area is constantly expanding. Why is every corrupt Shendu so domineering? At first I thought you were a very cute kitten. Just as Beerus was about to slap him down, he saw Master's stern eyes staring at him. Beerus hastily withdrew his paw. Since you already know that Beerus is the new gods of destruction of this universe, I hope you two get along well. Luo Tian said to the prophecy fish. Prophecy fish, you are too much. You should tell your apprentice this. I just want to get along with him. Beerus, don't bully a fish for nothing. Luo Tian said. Understood, Master, don't worry. Beerus patted his chest to reassure. The prophecy fish knows more than me about many things, you can ask him if you don't understand. Luo Tian looked up at the sky. Hey, Master, are you leaving here? Beerus heard it and asked quickly. I plan to go around various universes. Luo Tian pondered, you don't need to follow. Master, what about me? Master, don't you want me? Champa almost cried. What's the situation? Why are you crying? Luo Tian was taken aback. Master, didn't you say that you want me to be gods of destruction in the sixth universe? Champa said. What else am I doing? Are you in such a hurry to take office? Luo Tian smiled and said, are you having a farewell ceremony with Cat Star? That's right. Champa breathed a sigh of relief, and nodded solemnly, I know Master, thank you Master 10. During this time, you should do some things you want to do first. Luo Tian got up slowly, flew into the sky, and waved goodbye to Champa and Beerus. Call out. The next moment, Luo Tian turned into a streamer of light, and disappeared on the spot in an instant. Luo Tian traveled around the universe, and took a look at the situation of each universe by the way. 7th Universe, Gods of Destruction Star. From today onwards, I will name this planet Beerus Planet, how about it? Champa. Beerus said excitedly. Then my planet in the 6th universe is called Planet Champa. Champa was also very excited. The two brothers held hands and jumped high on the planet. The prophecy fish was silent on the side. Brothers Beerus and Champa were happy for a while, and then they looked at the prophecy fish. Prophecy fish, don't look at me, I'm scared. Hey, prophecy fish, I ask you, am I gods of destruction now? Beerus asked. Have you been appointed by Master Zeno? Asked the prophecy fish, that is the official certification. Of course. Beerus nodded. My master is still a god on the same level as Lord Zeno, he is the inspector of the gods. There is nothing surprising about the prophecy fish. 050. After all, that one is the most powerful god in the universe. So, is it such a simple thing to become gods of destruction? Champa pondered. This kind of thing is not so simple. The prophecy fish sighed. First of all, you have to defeat the previous gods of destruction before you can take office. Secondly, you have to obtain official certification. If you cannot get official certification, it belongs to the rebellion. Do you know the result of the rebellion? It will be wiped out. Got it, got it. Champa waved his hand perfunctorily. Also, since you are all gods of destruction now, you should also change your clothes. Prophecy fish said, it's best to wear gods of destruction clothes. When you said that, I remembered. Beerus nodded and asked, where are the clothes? I'll give it to you, said the prophetic fish, waving his hands towards Beerus' body in the air. Snapped. An invisible divine power quickly covered Beerus' body. Immediately, Beerus transformed, and the clothes on his body took on a new look, becoming the unique style of gods of destruction. Looking at the past from a distance, apart from the height gap between the current Beerus and the future Beerus, everything else is almost the same. It's just that his face is still relatively immature. After all, he is only 3 years old this year. It's amazing magic, I want to learn it too. Beerus was amazed. It's very simple, I will teach you in the future. The prophecy fish smiled. Thank you in advance then. Beerus thanked. And this ear sticker. Prophecy fish took out another gold ear sticker, and handed it to Beerus with both hands. This is a unique decoration for gods of destruction. What is it for? Can it increase strength? Beerus took it curiously, and put it on his ear casually. No, it's purely for decoration, the prophecy fish replied. Beerus even wanted to take off the ear stickers immediately. What do you think, Champa? This new look? Beerus asked. I think it's cool. Champa's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly urged the prophecy fish, that fish. Hurry up and give me a suit too. Okay, Master Champa. Prophecy fish nodded, pointing at Champa with both hands. Immediately, the clothes on Champa also took on a new look. Immediately afterwards, the prophecy fish took out a new ear sticker and handed it to Champa with both hands. Champa also put the ear stickers on his ears. Two cats and a fish gossiped for a while. Prophecy fish, do you know where the cat star is? Beerus asked. Cat star, it's very far away from here, the previous picture alone took 2 days to fly. Prophecy fish asked and answered. So we have to fly for at least a day and a half. Champa pondered. Do you want to go back? Beerus asked. I'm afraid this time going back will be the last time we see friends from Catstar. That's right, even if we can meet each other in the future, we can't deliberately develop them. Champa sighed helplessly. It is predicted that the eyes of the fish will shine. Don't these two cats develop their own clan? That would be great. But before going back, there is one more important thing to do. Beerus said in a deep voice. What's the matter? Champa was taken aback. You forgot what we said before. Go to the underworld to find our parents, and brother Wu Tato. Beerus said. But, how to get to the underworld? Champa asked. The next moment, Champa looked at the prophecy fish together with him. Prophecy fish, you must know how to get to hell. Beerus asked. This, I can tell you in advance, even if you are the gods of destruction, the most powerful gods in this universe, you have no right to bring people from the underworld. That is a felony, it is strictly forbidden in the god realm, yes, said the prophecy fish with a serious expression. We're going to visit our parents, isn't that a violation? Beerus asked. It's okay. The prophecy fish heaved a sigh of relief. Tell us quickly, how can we get to the underworld? Champa asked hastily. Flying up from here, you can see layers of invisible barriers. Inside these invisible barriers is another world, which is the underworld. The prophecy fish explained. Champa, let's go, Beerus said. Okay, Champa nodded. Whoa, whoa. The two cats turned into two purple streamers and fell into the starry sky in an instant, before disappearing without a trace. Hey, don't mess around in the underworld, the prophecy fish exhorted loudly. Champa and Beerus kept speeding up as the prophetic fish said. After walking for more than 40 minutes, the two kittens finally saw layers of flowing barriers. Champa, let's go. Beerus nodded at Champa. Champa looked expectant in his eyes. Bang, bang. The two directly penetrated the barrier and entered another world in an instant. Both cats' eyes lit up, and they saw a world that made them feel completely strange. In this world, there are gold clouds everywhere underground, and the clouds flow slowly like a stream, and the starry sky in the sky is also boundless, more beautiful than the stars. Below, a long passage stretches for tens of thousands of miles, with no end in sight. On this passage, white souls are queuing up one after another. Looking from a distance, one can vaguely see that there is a table at the end of the passage, and a titan is working on the table. Champa, is that guy King Yan Luo? Beerus pointed to the front. Probably, Champa nodded. We went over and asked. He must know where our parents are, Beerus said. Yeah, Champa became more and more excited. Whoa, whoa. In an instant, the two cats appeared above the main hall of King Yan Luo. King Yan Luo was stunned for a moment, then turned his head to look in the direction of Champa and Beerus. Hey, who are you? Come down and queue, you can't jump in line. Jumping in line is immoral. A staff member immediately yelled at Champa and Beerus. King Yan Luo also frowned, rubbing his chin and looking at Champa and Beerus. Where did these two kittens come from? Why do their clothes look a bit like gods of destruction? I am Beerus, the newly appointed gods of destruction of the 7th universe, and he is my younger brother Champa, who is also the newly appointed gods of destruction of the 6th universe. Beerus replied. What? When did the 7th universe change to gods of destruction? King Yan Luo's face changed slightly. The previous figure of gods of destruction committed heinous crimes alone, and was imprisoned together with Relagio, the gods of destruction of the 6th universe. Beerus simply explained. King Yan Luo didn't dare not believe it when he heard these words. This kitten can even name the two gods of destruction so clearly, which means it should be the new gods of destruction. King Yan Luo suddenly realized, no wonder so many rat tribes have died recently. Of course, King Yan Luo knew only the tip of the iceberg. After all, most of the genus were wiped out, so the soul disappeared without having time to escape. Therefore, these souls did not come to the underworld to report. Greetings, Lord Gods of Destruction. Yan Luo Wang Li engraved on his knees and saluted. The staff members also knelt on the ground. The staff member who spoke just now was almost scared to pee. It turns out that the origin of this cat is so scary. Will I be revenged by him? I wonder if Lord Gods of Destruction came here. What instructions do you have? King Yan Luo asked hastily. I want to meet my mom and dad. Beerus said, can you? They should be in heaven now. King Yan Luo knelt down again, trembling all over his body. What, are they in hell? Beerus' face turned cold. Why put my parents in hell? Have they done anything harmful in their life? Champa said angrily. Let me check first. King Yan Luo was really terrified. Check it out. Beerus gritted his teeth. King Yan Luo hurried forward to pick up the Book of Life and Death, and retrieved information about Beerus and Champa's parents. When King Yan Luo saw the message from their parents, his heart turned cold, and beads of sweat rolled down his face. It really is hell. Slap. King Yan Luo knelt down again. What a tragedy. Tell me, why did you put my parents in hell? Beerus narrowed his eyes and said, if you can tell the reason, I won't make things difficult for you. At that time, the tribe of Lord Tu Dandan ruled the entire universe, even the underworld. We dare not say too much. King Yan Luo quickly explained, I want to send the parents of the two lords of destruction to heaven, but I dare not disobey the orders of the Rat clan. After all, I am not the opponent of Tuduan. Now I am the gods of destruction of this universe, so from today onwards, I hope that you will enforce the law impartially. Those who should go to heaven will go to heaven, and those who should go to hell will go to hell. Even my relatives and friends. They have done bad things, and they should go to hell. Those who go to hell must go to hell. Beerus shouted with a cold face. Yes, Master Beerus. Yan Luo Wangli immediately replied respectfully. Where is Tato Wu? Is he also in hell? Champa asked. Wu Tato. I'll check right away. King Yan Luo trembled and went to symbolically turn over the Book of Life and Death again. Okay, there's no need to look through it. Beerus snorted. Did you send all the rat tribe to heaven? This part of it went to hell on its own initiative. King Yan Luo was about to cry. Give me a new trial immediately, and I'll give you 10 days to finish it all, right? Beerus said coldly. What if some have already been reincarnated? King Yan Luo asked. If you are reincarnated, reincarnate. For those who have not been reincarnated, I will judge those unfair souls in hell and heaven again. If you dare to make a mistake again, I will be rude to you. Beerus narrowed his eyes. Yes, Lord Beerus, I know I was wrong. King Yan Luo responded hastily. Take us to hell now. You don't have to go there yourself. Beerus said, looking at the staff member who was more cheerful just now, and ordered, you. Staff member. The staff almost freaked out, but they didn't dare to refuse until now, so they had to bite the bullet and respectfully agree. Soon, the staff took Champa and Beerus and left King Yan Luo's hall. The staff members trembled with fear, fearing that would be retaliated by the two gods of destruction. Beerus and Champa didn't bother with a staff member about these little things. Now the two little guys want to see their parents quickly. Under the guidance of the staff, the three of them finally came to the gate of hell. This is the entrance to hell. Of course, going directly down the snake path can also enter hell. The entrance to the gate of hell is heavily guarded. Not only that, there are various barriers and other things at the entrance. It is difficult for the souls imprisoned in hell to escape from here. My lords, gods of destruction, this is the entrance to hell. Entering from here is hell. The staff member hurriedly said. Open the door, Beerus ordered. Open the door, these two are Lord Gods of Destruction. The newly appointed Lord Gods of Destruction. The staff ordered to the gatekeeper. What, Lord Gods of Destruction? The gatekeeper's face changed again and again, and he hurriedly stepped forward to kneel and salute, and opened the gate of hell. The crew takes Champa and Beerus on a march through hell. Walked a little further. Champa and Beerus suddenly heard a familiar cat meowing in the distance. Champa stopped in her tracks, grief and indignation written on her face. Beerus also clenched his fists tightly, seeing the scene that made him feel extremely angry. On a hill not far away, cat people were being beaten and tortured by a large number of rats tied to stones. These cat people let out a cry of pain. There are quite a few rat tribes around laughing happily. Champa and Beerus looked over and found that there were at least 10,000 rat tribes present. There are only a few thousand people in the cat family. These rat folk were recently sent to hell. They are the rat tribe who died in battle on Catstar, and they volunteered to come to hell to experience life. Because they know very well that the cat people on the Catstar will go to hell after death. Therefore, the souls of these rat tribes who died in battle had already discussed when they were ranked, and they would go to hell together to avenge them. King Yan Luo was afraid of the power of the rat clan, so he dared not disobey. Besides, they deserved to go to hell. So King Yan Luo sent them to hell with a wave of his hand. Tens of thousands of rats entered hell, looking for cats to take revenge. Now they have collected more than 1,000 cat people in hell, gathered them together, and tortured them continuously. Presumptuous. Beerus was furious, and quickly flew high above the sky, looking down at the souls of the rat race. You all. Champa followed closely, with veins popping up on his forehead. And after seeing Champa and Beerus appearing above the sky, the souls of many rat races present froze one by one. What is the origin of these two cats? Why is there no halo on the head? Where did these two kittens come from? Aren't they dead? How did you not die? This is hell. Many souls of the rat clan talked to each other. Many cat people present were also a little stunned. Aren't they Champa and Beerus? Are they both dead too? No. Why don't they have gold halos on their heads? Why did they change their clothes like this? I didn't recognize their identities for a while because of their clothes. After the cat people were briefly surprised, many cat people immediately recognized Champa and Beerus. After all, there are also many cat warriors who have just died. At that time, there were not many surviving cat stars, and they basically knew each other. You guys are so courageous, you dare to bully our cat people even after you're dead. Who gave you the right? Beerus said coldly. Kill them. Champa's face became more and more gloomy. The two cats no longer had the slightest hesitation, and grabbed them fiercely in the air with their big hands. Immediately, many rat warriors were caught up from the air. Boom. Beerus waved his hand lightly, and an invisible energy covered the past. Boom. In the blink of an eye, the souls of tens of thousands of clans disappeared in an instant. In less than a few seconds, there were only a dozen rats left on the scene. The dozen or so mice were frightened silly. The souls of many cat stars present were also completely stunned. How did Champa and Beerus become so strong? Boom. Champa didn't mean to show mercy, and grabbed again with his big hand, directly killing the souls of the remaining rat clan. Champa, where are Dad and Mom? Did you see them? Beerus asked, frowning. No, I'm looking for it. Champa gritted her teeth impatiently. Go down and ask them. They might know, Beerus suggested. Yeah, Champa nodded. Champa and Beerus fell from the sky and landed among the souls of many cat people. Are you really Champa and Beerus? A cat star looked at the two kittens in disbelief. Well, it's us. Beerus nodded. Have you seen my parents? Champa asked. I saw it some time ago. A cat star scratched his head. I don't know where to go now. I remembered, they seem to have been rescued by Tato Wu. A cat star patted himself on the forehead. Is Brother Wu Tato here too? Beerus' eyes lit up. Yeah, Tato Wu is trying to fight back against them. But we are too weak. Many souls have disappeared after fighting here. An elderly cat star side said, besides, there are rat clan alliances everywhere, and only we cats are fighting alone. Mom, Dad, they are fighting with what it won't be. Champa's face changed again and again. Boy, find me quickly. If you can't find me, I'll kill you. Beerus stepped forward and grabbed the staff member by the collar, and shouted coldly. The staff were all terrified, and hurriedly took out an instrument trembling. I have a location here. As long as I say my name and identity, I can locate his soul. The staff hurriedly said. All the cat stars present were stunned. How could the staff be so cowardly in front of the two of them? If their names can't be found, that means they've already. The staff's voice became smaller and smaller. The faces of Beerus and Champa became more and more gloomy. The staff can only pray silently now that the parents of these two guys had better not be killed. If the soul dies, it really disappears. No matter which world it is, it no longer exists. The staff hurriedly entered the names of Champa and Beerus' parents on the instrument, and located their soul bodies. Found it. Great. The staff wept with joy when they saw the name displayed. So far so good. Almost scared me to death. If you disappear, these two gods of destruction will definitely kill me. It's about 100 kilometers away from here. The staff pointed to a location on the map. Champa and Beerus also breathed a sigh of relief. You can handle the matter here. If you can satisfy me, I can consider forgiving you. Beerus said coldly. Ah, yes, Lord gods of destruction. The staff hurriedly knelt down. Champa, let's go, Beerus said. Yeah, Champa nodded vigorously. Whoa. The two disappeared in the same place in an instant. The cat star people present widened their eyes one by one, showing confusion on their faces. The staff just now called Beerus, Lord gods of destruction. Is it wrong? Isn't gods of destruction ratfolk? It is worth mentioning that after coming to hell, many cat stars also know the legendary of gods of destruction. Only then did the cat people know how powerful the rat clan was. It is said that the rat race has 800 billion races in this universe. This is a very large number. All thoughts of cat star people are desperate. Naturally, other races in hell did not dare to provoke the rat race, so they joined hands with the rat race to bully the cats. The cat star man has been tortured badly during this time. But, to the surprise of cat stars, how could this staff member call Beerus gods of destruction? You don't know yet, do you? The staff's attitude became extremely respectful. The two of them are the newly appointed gods of destruction, Lord Beerus as the gods of destruction of the 7th universe, and Lord Champa as the gods of destruction of the 6th universe. Many cat stars showed shock on their faces. After hearing the news, the other races were all dumbfounded, and fled in all directions in fright. The cat star actually released gods of destruction. This is great news. Champa and Beerus traveled more than 100 kilometers forward, and soon saw two figures appearing in a large canyon. Hey, Champa, look over there. Beerus suddenly became excited. Champa stared in the direction Beerus was looking, tears welling in her eyes. The boy's father. Look, daughter, they Champa and Beerus. A cat woman in the canyon also rubbed her eyes, looked up at the sky, as if she suddenly recognized her. Yes, it's really them. Father Cat's face changed slightly, revealing a look of sadness. Are they dead too? That's good, our family is reunited. The cat mother sighed. Whoa, whoa. Champa and Beerus no longer had the slightest hesitation, and immediately stepped forward and landed on the opposite side of the two cat people. Dad, Mom, we're coming to see you. Champa and Beerus kneel and salute their parents. Unexpectedly, even you are dead. Father Cat sighed helplessly. Let Mother take a good look at you. The cat mother stepped forward with a kind face, hugged the two kittens in her arms, and gently stroked their heads. The four hugged each other and cried. It's been 2 years, how time flies. Father Cat said with emotion, it's just that I never expected that we would be in this place when we meet again. Champa, you are still so fat. The cat mother smiled kindly. Beerus, you take good care of your brother, at least you keep him in such a cute shape. Father Cat forced a smile. Dad, Mom, why did you come here? There don't seem to be any ghosts around here, it's quite safe. Beerus felt around and breathed a sigh of relief. Tai Do Wu brought us here. Father Cat explained, this place is only temporarily safe, but soon we will be discovered by the rat race. Even if we are not discovered by the rat race, it will be a headache if we are discovered by other races. I never thought that I would have to suffer so much after death. The cat mother sighed, it's just a pity for you too. Did you just die? I have a question I wanted to ask you just now. Champa, Beerus, why don't you two have halos on your heads? Father Cat asked curiously. Hey, Dad, because Beerus and I are not dead, we are still alive. Champa laughed. Cat mother, cat father. The parents were stunned at that time, and they didn't come back to their senses for a long time. Cough cough, don't be joking. Father Cat coughed. This joke is not funny at all. How did you hide the aura? Also, what kind of clothes are you wearing? Why are you dressed so strange, eh? ? Quote. The cat mother also came back to her senses, and said to Champa and Beerus. Well, this is sabotage. Ruth. However, before Beerus finished speaking, he immediately sensed a lot of aura rising from a distance. Shish. The next moment, a dozen of white mice appeared above the Grand Canyon in a flash, and looked down on Champa and the Beerus family. A dozen or so white mice are like a rainbow, they are particularly eye-catching in this hell. As if the entire hell had been occupied by these dozen or so white mice, the sky changed color and black clouds filled. The endless darkness shrouded the hell, which was originally endless darkness, with a deeper black tide. The father and mother cats were pale with fright. Children, run, get out of here, Father Cat said in a deep voice, let me hold them back. Beerus, take Champa and get out of here quickly. Go as far away as possible, don't let them catch you. They are scarier than demons. The cat mother said. After finishing speaking, the husband and wife straightened up and stood up, ready to fight. This, isn't that the two little milk cats? Quincy looked at Champa and Beerus in surprise. Champa and Beerus also recognized the leading white mouse at this time. It was Quincy. You. How are you here? Champa was taken aback. HMPH, unexpected. Quincy snorted coldly, you guys made a mistake. What's the matter? Beerus, do you know him? Father Cat asked. Yes, his name is Quincy, the rat god that Champa and I killed together. Beerus nodded. What, you two teamed up to kill him? Father Cat was surprised. Quincy, why are you here? Isn't your soul destroyed? Champa asked this strange question again. Champa, you also remember that he was destroyed by Master? Beerus asked. Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes too. Champa nodded. He, what do you two little milk cats know? Quincy said with a smile, it's very simple, as long as I kill myself before he destroys me, my soul can escape. Champa and Beerus suddenly realized. No wonder he met Quincy here. This guy is really cunning. But you two little milk cats were finally beaten to death, right? Quincy sneered. Quincy, is it the master of these two little milk cats who killed many of our people? Ask the other Song Yumao mice. It's them. I will never forget them. Quincy's angry soul trembled violently. That's great. They are a family. I just caught them and tortured them. A white-haired mouse smiled contemptuously. And that guy named Wutato, we must find out Wutato from their mouths, otherwise it will be difficult to solve my hatred. Quincy's teeth itched with hatred. If that guy Wutato hadn't sealed me back then, would I have had this kind of encounter? Master Zushin must have made a move. They deserve it. They are unlucky. This is what they asked for. Quincy laughed almost insanely. The two little milk cats, where is your master? Your master is dead too. Tell me the whereabouts of your master. A white cat and mouse looked at Beerus with a smile. My master will not die. Even if I tell the whereabouts of my master, I'm afraid you will have nothing to do with him. Beerus smiled. Beerus, don't play tricks with him. When there is a fight, you take Champa and leave immediately. Father Cat hurriedly lowered his voice. Dad, why did you leave? Champa chuckled. I know that you two have become stronger. But they are all godlike existences, and there are so many of them, no matter what, it is impossible to be their opponents. Mao Zhao said in a deep voice. Beerus, should it be me this time? Champa suggested, it was always you who took the shots in the previous few times, but this time you stay and protect Mom and Dad. Understood, go quickly. Beerus nodded without objecting. How long do you think it would be appropriate for me to deal with them? Champa grinned. Whatever you want, just don't take too long. Beerus snorted. Then 10 seconds. Champa said, what do you two want to do? Especially you, Champa, what are you going to do? Hurry up and listen to what Dad said, and get out of here with your big brother Beerus, and I will fight with Dad. The mother cat scolded in a low voice. Don't worry, Mom, this kind of matter is left to Champa, he can already take charge of it alone, although not as strong as me. Beerus laughed. Champa rolled his eyes. The previous words are quite nice. Is what you said later human words? Okay, I'm going. Champa rubbed his fists. Call out. Immediately afterwards, Champa turned into a streamer of light, appearing above the sky in an instant. Bang bang bang. Champa launched a fierce attack on the white mouse above the sky. In the flash, the dozen or so white mice were killed on the spot. No, to be precise, it disappeared on the spot. Their souls turned into dust and completely dissipated in hell. Now Champa has reached the second stage of Gods of Destruction, and his strength has surpassed that of two Dandan. It's too easy to deal with such a few white cats and mice. In less than 10 seconds, Quincy was the only one left among the dozen or so mice on the scene. Quincy was dumbfounded, and didn't come back to his senses after being dazed for several seconds. Where can you go this time? Champa smiled, and stretched out his hand to Quincy's soul. Do you want to kill yourself again? Quincy was completely stunned, completely unresponsive. If you commit suicide again, it will just disappear, right? What a pity. You have nowhere to escape. Champa's hands are already condensing destructive energy. You. This is impossible. How could this happen? Quincy shouted loudly. You can't kill me, otherwise the Lord Ancestral God will not forgive you. Zhao Nuo's Ancestral God. Your ancestor is that guy Tu Dandan, right? Champa chuckled. That guy is nothing special, he's already a half-dead mouse. What did you say? You defeated the Ancestor God. Stop joking. Quincy couldn't believe it. Look at my clothes, haven't you found any problems yet? Champa said with a smile, it's not just your Ancestor God. Your Ancestor God's big brother Relago is also finished. You are talking nonsense. Quincy's eyes widened. I'm not talking nonsense, because I just snatched his Gods of Destruction position to become the latest Gods of Destruction in the 6th universe. Champa chuckled. What? The latest Gods of Destruction from the 6th universe? Quincy rolled his eyes. This outfit is the best proof. Champa smiled. Then why are you here? Who are you kidding? Gods of Destruction died so easily. I'm afraid you're just imagining it. Quincy didn't believe it. Who said I'm dead? Didn't you see that I don't have a halo around my head? Champa smiled. Quincy's expression gradually froze. This guy doesn't have a gold aura around his head. When I first met them, I thought they had hidden their halos with something. Thinking about it now, it's because they didn't die. He didn't die, so there would be no halo on his head. Impossible, this is impossible. Quincy lost his voice. Tell me quickly, what you said is all false. Destroy. Beerus couldn't stand listening anymore, waved his hand in the air, and a burst of destructive energy quickly hit Quincy's body. Snapped. Quincy melted into nothingness on the spot. This time Quincy was dead for good. Beerus, you fool, just know how to grab me. Champa shouted angrily. Come on down, Momochiji. Beerus smiled. Snapped. Champa fell from the sky and landed in front of Beerus with an unhappy expression on his face. The cat father and cat mother were completely dumbfounded. How did our son become so strong? That's the mouse god. Oops, I'm not late. At this moment, only a familiar voice sounded from a distance. Both Champa and Beerus immediately pricked up their ears and turned their heads to look in the direction of the voice. It was Tato Wu who appeared in the distance. Brother Wu Tato. Beerus was so excited that he hurried forward and gave Wu Tato a warm hug. Champa also ran over, stepped forward and hugged Wu Tato. Master Wu, I didn't expect that even you were dead, that's a crime. Wu Tato sighed, but you two little guys really know how to just found your parents. Cat father, cat mother, Beerus' parents still haven't recovered from the shock. Uncle, aunt, it's not safe here, let's leave quickly. Wu Tato said. Beerus, Champa, go. Go, get out of here first. Those white cats have been thrown away by me. But I think they will catch up soon. Come up. Saying so, Taito hurriedly ran to the distance. The Beerus family didn't move. Tato Wu galloped for tens of meters, suddenly found Beerus and the others following up, and hurriedly stopped. Shua. Tato Wu went back and forth, looking at Champa and the Beerus family strangely. Why are you in a daze? Hurry up, Wu Tato urged. I told you it's not safe here, especially you two little ones, you just died and came to hell. How dangerous. This place is even worse than Cat Star. The Beerus family still didn't move. Wu Tato is not well personally. What do you mean? What's the matter? Did I do something to be sorry to you? Wu Tato was a little suspicious of life. Wu Tato. You think too much. Father Cat smiled wryly. Didn't you see that scene just now? Just now? What happened just now? Wu Tato scratched his head and asked inexplicably. Ahem. Suddenly a dozen white mice appeared. The mother cat interjected. What, are those guys already here? Did they leave without noticing you? Tato Wu suddenly realized, so, our position should be safe for the time being. Listen to me. Father Cat sighed. Beerus and Champa also held back their smiles, showing contented expressions on their faces. Hey, Tato Wu's anxious look is quite interesting. Champa said to Beerus. Who says no? Beerus nodded. Just now, the cat father sighed. Champa he. It's just that the cat father hasn't finished talking yet. Shish. Several white rays of light flashed across the sky. In just a moment, more than a dozen white-haired mice appeared above the canyon. Here it comes again. Champa snorted. The killing will never end. Let's take the clansmen and leave here, and let that guy, King Yan Luo, handle this matter. Beerus' face was cold. I'm going to kill them myself. They came here to die. Champa hummed, about to soar into the sky. Run, let me deal with these guys. Tato Wu shouted and stepped forward. Only Champa is faster. Call out. Champa turned into a beam of light and appeared beside the dozen or so white-haired mice in an instant. Bang bang bang. This time, Champa smashed all the white-haired mice present in less than 3 seconds. Wu Tato's eyes widened, his jaw almost dropped. Snapped. After eliminating those white-haired mice, Champa slowly fell from the sky and landed beside Wu Tato, showing a proud smile on his face. Tato Wu felt endless shock and confusion. The cat father and cat mother secretly had fun. We just had this expression. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, who would believe such an outrageous thing? How did Champa and Beerus become so strong? What happened to these two little guys? I read it right. Wu Tato finally came back to his senses, and shook his head vigorously. Champa, did you really kill those guys just now? Hey, are you okay? Champa smiled brighter and brighter. How is this possible? How did you do it? Wu Tado's entire soul and body were not very calm. Brother Wu Tado, have you heard of gods of destruction? Champa smiled. Gods of destruction, I haven't heard of it before. Only after I came to hell, I realized how terrifying the gods behind these rats are. Tado Wu's expression became serious. I've heard that too. It's called gods of destruction. Father Cat nodded. Gods of destruction is the most powerful god in this universe, and it's a ceiling that humans can never surpass. Oh my god, what kind of monsters did we cat people provoke? The cat mother sighed, showing endless worries. I heard that the gods of destruction can ignore the rules and enter the underworld. Wu Tado's face became more serious. This is the most terrifying thing, and King Yan Luo has to kneel in front of him. The god of gods of destruction, maybe the highest existence in this universe, even Supreme Kai can't do anything about him. Don't say it, it's too scary. For the future, let's live with the situation. Father Cat sighed, but if I can meet my 2 children here, it doesn't matter if they disappear. Quote. Yes, in fact, if you think about it carefully, the reincarnation memory will also be cleared. What is the difference from disappearing? The cat mother comforted herself. Champa, although you are very strong, do you want to tell me that your current strength is far inferior to gods of destruction, right? Wu Tado said. Champa, Beerus. There was silence for 2 seconds. No, Dad, Mom, Tado Wu. Champa pointed to his nose. What I want to say is that now I am the gods of destruction, but I am not the gods of destruction of our universe. I am the gods of destruction of the 6th universe. The gods of destruction of our universe is Beerus. Wu Tado froze. The cat father also widened his eyes. The mother cat showed disbelief on her face. Ha ha ha, Champa, you little fat cat knows how to joke. After a short silence, Tado Wu laughed, but he didn't believe it. The cat father and cat mother did not believe it either. Who can believe such a thing? After all, Tado Wu has only been dead for more than a month. Even if you want to become gods of destruction, how can you be so fast? Why do you think I'm joking? Champa showed his white teeth. At this moment, a large number of guards came out, holding a magical potion that could fight against the soul. When this magical potion is sprayed on the soul will feel endless pain. But living humans will not be harmed. These guards are all living people, and they are quickly restricting the rat race, and even killing some of the rat race who resisted immediately. For a time, there was a lot of wailing in the hell, and the sound of rats was endless. What happened? Wu Tado floated up quietly, looked around, showing endless shock. What? The guards of hell are dispatched. They are killing the rat clan. How could this happen? Suddenly, a group of guards rushed towards this side. Wu Tado was startled, and sank down hastily. In this hell, the most terrifying thing is these guards. Because there is a special layer of armor on the body of the guard, no matter how powerful the soul is, it will not cause damage to these armors. This is the difference between the dead and the living. Hello, if you see the rat clan, please contact us immediately. The leader of the guard immediately stepped forward and respectfully said to Wu Tado. Wu Tado froze. When did these guards become so humble? Is this still the guard I know? After the leader of the guards finished speaking to Wu Tado, he suddenly saw Champa and Beerus standing in the Grand Canyon. The face of the guard leader changed again and again. The next moment, the leader of the guard hurriedly led the team down into the Grand Canyon, and quickly appeared in front of Champa and Beerus. Wu Tado was so frightened that his soul almost lost his mind. The cat father and cat mother also turned pale. Are you here to capture my son? Although the 3 were afraid, they still blocked Champa and Beerus with their bodies. Greetings, Lord Gods of Destruction. A dozen guards knelt down and shouted in unison. Wu Tado, cat father. The 3 were dumbfounded. Gods of destruction. Are Champa and Beerus really gods of destruction? Not bad, Beerus said lightly from behind. There are guards like you in hell. What? Can you defeat those rats if you dispatch them? Yes, Master Beerus, we are living people. We have artifacts that can restrain the soul. No matter how powerful the soul is, it will be restrained in this hell. The guard leader said respectfully. In addition, this kind of artifact can only be operated by living people, and the soul cannot be used, so there is no need to be afraid that they will steal the artifact. I don't want to hear the details, so let me ask you, how long will it take to get rid of all these rats? Beerus asked. The leader of the guard didn't know what to say. Forget it, you're just a part-time worker, right? I'd better ask that fellow Yan Luo. Beerus snorted, you can go. Yes, Master Beerus. The leader of the guard bowed his head and saluted, trembling with fright. The other guards also knelt down and heard that they could leave, so they hurriedly got up and fled quickly. Wait until the guards leave. The cat father was completely stunned. The cat mother also looked at her two sons with surprise and joy. Wu Tato spent a long time, he didn't come back to his senses. There was a full 10 seconds of silence. You two really became gods of destruction. Tato Wu couldn't laugh or cry. I told you just now, it's my parents and brother Wu Tato who don't believe me. Champa said with a smile, believe it now. When did you become gods of destruction? Tato Wu looked at Champa and Beerus with a complicated expression. Just took office today. Champa smiled. It stands to reason that mom, dad, and brother Wu Tato should all go to heaven to enjoy happiness. Beerus said, but because of the previous gods of destruction, that guy Yan Luo sent you to hell on purpose. So now, I won't take you out of the hospital. The clothes on you. Wu Tato muttered. That's right, this is the unique costume of gods of destruction. Champa said with a smile, and this here sticker, isn't it cool? Ahem. Talk about how you became gods of destruction. What about the previous gods of destruction? Tato Wu asked. The previous gods of destruction have been imprisoned, and all of this was done by our master. Champa showed endless pride and pride. Master, when did the two of you worship a master? Tato Wu was very surprised. I've only been dead for a month. Even if you were apprentices, how did you improve your strength so quickly? I haven't seen you for a month, you've all become gods of destruction. Wu Tato's mood was extremely complicated, of course he was more happy for these two kittens. Our master is the most powerful god in the universe. Beerus' expression showed endless pride and pride. Full universe. Tato Wu was taken aback. We have a total of 12 universes. When I say all universes here, I mean these 12 universes. Our master Luo Tian is the most powerful god in these 12 universes. No one is his match. Champa excited said, Master wiped out the 3 gods of destruction of the rat race, of course including the gods of destruction Rillagu of the 6th universe where I am. Tato Wu fell silent. Father Cat fell silent. The cat mother was very surprised. There was another long silence. It's amazing, my child, you can have this adventure, your father and I and your brother Wu Tato will also be proud of you. The cat mother said softly. Champa, Ruth. You are gods of destruction now, and I have something to tell you here. Father Cat's expression suddenly became serious. Father, what is so serious? Champa was taken aback. Beerus nodded respectfully. You don't want to learn from the gods of destruction of the rat clan, that will only make us cat people suffer from the hatred of the whole universe. Father Cat said. Don't worry, Dad, Master said that all destructive Shendu in the future must not develop their own ethnic groups without authorization, otherwise Master will destroy this gods of destruction without hesitation. Champa smiled. However, Master also told us secretly that the two of us can secretly protect our own group. Beerus lowered his voice. This is a treatment that other gods of destruction do not have. But it can only be sheltered 3 times, after that, it depends on their fate. Champa sighed. Don't just sigh, you're going to take up the post in the 6th universe in the future. If something happens to the cat star, it'll be a long time before you get here. Beerus rolled his eyes. HMPH. Champa hummed. Father, Mom, Brother Wu Tato, let's get out of here. Beerus said, by the way, take all the cat people with you, and I will take you to heaven myself. Father, Mom, Brother Wu Tato, please forgive me and Beerus for not being able to bring you back to life. Champa sighed. Even if we are the supreme gods of destruction, we cannot bring people back from the dead. What are you talking about? Silly child. The mother cat smiled and said, why do you want to be resurrected? It would be nice to go to heaven and live a good life. I just want to go to heaven, maybe that's the life I'm longing for. Father Cat showed his expectation. Beerus and Champa flew into the sky with their parents, and Tato Wu followed behind them without saying a word. All cat people, who think they have done nothing bad, and who think they are in heaven, come with me. I will take you out of hell and take you to heaven. Beerus shouted loudly. Those who haven't arrived yet don't worry, the people of the tribe, King Yan Luo will retrial in a few days. If he dares to be unfair again, I will come and break his leg. Meow meow meow. Many cat stars present let out cheerful meows. Afterwards, Beerus and Champa led many cat stars, and walked towards the exit of hell with arrogance. Many cat stars sighed for a while. I didn't expect that we cat people would give birth to two gods of destruction. Father Beerus. You two elders will enjoy the blessings in the future. A cat celebrity sighed to the cat father. Mother Beerus, I really envy you for having such a good son. Some cat star people sighed at the cat mother. By the way, the two of them were born on the same day, right? Well, born under Beerus, the cat mother nodded. You don't know, do you? When Beerus and Champa were born, purple lightning flashed in the sky. Father Cat began to brag, the whole sky was dyed purple. I only knew that after the two of them it will be very promising for sure. When I was pregnant with the two of them, I felt like I was swallowing mountains and rivers. I never thought I was pregnant with two gods. The cat mother also cooperated seamlessly. Many cat stars present were deeply moved. Wu Tato. Tato Wu couldn't listen anymore. Is that so? I am the child you picked up. I have grown up with you since childhood. Can I not know what happened at that time? You two just accidentally gave birth to Champa and Beerus, right? Of course Wu Tato couldn't point it out. Because Wu Tato was also brought up by kind-hearted cat father and cat mother since he was a child. The two of them treated Wu Tato as their own son. Under the leadership of Champa and Beerus, many cat people left hell. Immediately afterwards, a staff member immediately arranged a special car to send thousands of cat people to the entrance of heaven. Why, send it directly to heaven without reviewing it? Beerus turned cold, frowned, looked at the staff and asked in a cold voice. Haha, there is no need to review this, Mr. Yan Luo Wang said, all the cats will be sent to heaven. The staff replied respectfully. Tell him to roll over to see me immediately. Veins popped up on Beerus's forehead, and an angry look emerged. Yes, the staff was terrified and rushed to report. Beerus, what's going on? The cat mother asked in a low voice. Mom, we are not a rat race, and because of me, all cat people can go to heaven unconditionally. Beerus said. Beerus is right, if we do that, what is the difference between us and the rat race? Father Cat gave Beerus a thumbs up. Here, I want to emphasize something to everyone. Beerus said loudly, don't think you can enter heaven because of my relationship. This kind of thing needs to be reviewed. I believe you are very clear about what bad things you have done before your death. If you do too many bad things, you will not enter heaven. Many cat people also have twinkling eyes, trying to think about whether they have done any wicked things during their lifetime. I have 1 TB of small movies in my computer hard drive, but I am the only one who enjoys it. Is it not a bad thing? Some cat people said and asked. What's a little movie? Beerus scratched his head and asked. Stupid. Master Beerus is still a child. Don't talk nonsense in front of him. A cat person shouted. I really miss your era, and you still watch small movies leisurely. Some cat people also sighed, we have been fighting in the following years, how can we have the energy to watch those things? After about 3 minutes, Yan Luo Wang Li rushed over in no time, and knelt down in front of Beerus at that time. King Yan Luo, you are so courageous. Beerus said coldly, you don't review, just let my people go to heaven. I knew I was wrong, and I will review it right away. King Yan Luo hurriedly said, sweating all over his body. Just review it here, I'll watch you review it. Beerus was cold. Yes, Lord Beerus, King Yan Luo replied. Soon some staff came to the scene with tables and chairs. King Yan Luo took out the Book of Life and Death, and reviewed the cat people present one by one. In fact, most cat stars are eligible to enter heaven, so the review process is relatively easy. Barry, he performed well during his lifetime. Did a lot of good deeds, robbed a bank at the age of 18. Was caught and imprisoned for more than 10 years, released afterwards, I returned to a normal life. When the Rat Clan arrived, I was crushed to death by the Rat Clan's universe spaceship. After King Yan Luo saw the life of this cat man, he was stunned for a while. Big nod. It stands to reason that such a person cannot enter heaven. Of course not going to hell. They should be sent to the reincarnation area, waiting in line for reincarnation. However, Yan Luo Wangnian could only send him to heaven because Beerus was on the scene. You can go to heaven, Yan Luo said kingly. King Yan Luo figured it out a long time ago. Lord Gods of Destruction said that he needs to review it, but it is nothing more than a show. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.